One of these days, I might actually stop and make sure I'm all set before I start the show. That day won't be today, though. Hi, guys. Welcome to the show. This is Monkey in the Morning. I am Monk, and hope you're having a good day. Hope you're well. I'm all right. Little eh, but happy as ever. I'm a little annoyed because I went to sleep last night and I had plans for the morning, and I still have those plans for the morning. But I was like, I will be good, and I will go to sleep at a reasonable time. And then I woke up at 11:30, and I was so pissed. I was like, I'm tired. I want to sleep. I didn't sleep well yesterday. Didn't sleep well last night. Tomorrow's going to be a fine day because I'll be up and moving around. But tomorrow night, I'm going to be whipped. I'm going to be whipped, and yeah, that happens. But I am happy. I'm in a good place, and you guys know me. That's what I look for. I care way more about being happy than I do about being healthy, which maybe is not the best thing in the world. Let's jump into it. We should be past any commercials now. So let's start with some stupid from Twitter, shall we? Shall we? It's one of my favorite things to do. It's how I start all of my days. I'm gonna put on my glasses here, which means I have to take off my headphones for just a second. There we go. Put on my old man glasses. You know, my glasses are 20 years old. I haven't had the prescription redone in 20 fucking years. I need to get it done, but they still help me read a lot better than not having them on. So this says, a man ran. First of all, you will notice that this is in quotations. I don't know if you guys can see it well enough. Hopefully you can, but this is in quotations. This is a quote that the guy is tweeting out. And we'll get to that in just a minute. But he says, a man ran to the Broadview ICE facility today searching for his wife of 5 years. They were following the legal process, showing up for her court case when ICE took her to another room and disappeared her. He tracked her phone to Broadview, where the signal cut off. Police told him to just look up the name online. He sat in the parking lot weeping, confused, with no answers. And then we get some crying emojis. Uh, wow. That's tragic. It's tragic. He's been looking in that parking lot for 5 years. Yeah, you think he'd go somewhere else and look, right? Okay, so I found where this came from. This comes from this is why it's in quotes. This comes from an Instagram post, not a news source, nothing like that. Oh, wait. Who has a birthday? Yeah, let me know. Give me a name for the birthday, and I'll sing. But this guy, the person who posted it on Instagram, didn't talk to this guy. No, 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 no. Instead, he talked to somebody who supposedly talked to this guy. So already we have telephone immigration scam. we have people who totally do not have a vested interest in lying about what's going on, hearing this from somebody else, and they just got pictures. For all they know, this guy sharded and he's really sad about it. They have no idea what this guy's actually there for. But according to the story, yeah, it was because they went in for a meeting and then ICE took her to another room and just disappeared her. Okay. Supposedly he goes with her to this thing. What did they tell him when he left? Right? Like when they disappear her to the other room, do they just be like, you wait here? And he's been waiting there ever. How long did he stay in that room before they were like, yeah, we got rid of her? We all know how much these immigration activists love getting the story right, telling the truth, not hiding anything. But that's not even where my interest in this lies. We'll get to that in a second. Heather, it's your birthday. Around here, we do this. And a 1 and a 2. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Heather. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Hope you have a good one. I really, really do. Where's Starscream? I don't know where he's at. He's got the link. Oh, wait. Did I send him the link? I'm pretty sure I sent him the link. Hang on. I don't trust myself. Oh, let's not show everybody my private messages. There we go. Yeah, I sent the link. Yeah. Cool. Uh, but yeah, so what does interest me about this story is the conversations I had afterwards. Because I just simply asked the question, is she here illegally? Is she here illegally? And somebody told me, it says she was going through the legal process. So of course she was here illegal, or she was here legally. And their argument is that since there's a process once we find out somebody's illegal to, deport them, that since she went to a meeting in that process, that somehow she's not illegal. That somehow this meeting makes it so that what she did before doesn't matter anymore. So that it looks like as long as you don't break the law after you've broken the law, then your original breaking of the law doesn't actually exist. Criminal proceedings are the legal process as well. Yeah, and it's fucking insane trying to discuss this with. I would show you guys the argument going on, but uh I don't remember if that's the one where I broke the person or not. I did that to one of Hassan's fans again today. Um, but this is how they think. This is how they think. Look. There's a legal process. Like, yeah, well, there was a legal process to get into the country, and they skipped that part. Therefore, they're here illegally. Even if the rest of everything they do is legal, they go to their little court meetings and all of this, they're still here illegally. And at any point, we can kick them the fuck out. Minus, of course, that stupid ass deal that was made. I want to say back in the 90s. We're like, you can't treat illegals like illegals. But she's still here illegally, and there's no reason at all to be upset that she is getting deported for being here illegally. And there's really no reason to lie about it and be like, they don't even know that this is a real story. They don't even know that. They're just like, I heard a thing from person, and then they saw it on Instagram. But did I show you guys Hassan's tweet about that? Here, let me show you. This is what I actually responded. The moral rot of this administration knows no bounds. Dun 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 dun. And again, this is based on a hearsay Instagram post. And let's see, 10,000 people liked Hassan's tweet here on a hearsay Instagram post. But why would that matter, right? Why would it? FBI surveillance van, thank you so much. Don't worry, Frankie. We've seen your DMs. There's nothing to see. You poor, boring man. Yeah, my DMs are actually boring as shit. It's mostly people sending me stories to talk about, honestly. But look at this. I mean, 10,000 people liking this probably bullshit story. Let's be honest. Let's just be honest about, have we seen yet a single one of these, oh my God, look what ICE is doing, that turned out to be what ICE was actually doing? I mean, we can go all the way back to the Haitian immigrant getting whipped by the guy on the horse, and it's just a guy with split reins riding his horse, rounding up the illegals. There was no whipping going on, but these people are too fucking retarded to understand what split reins are. They've seen a horse in a movie, and they've seen people with whips in movies, and they're like, they're clearly whipping that guy. Well, with Hassan, are we sure that is 10K people or 10K bought likes? Hassan's audience is largely real. When look, I know this is depressing. I know it's depressing, but during the Mamdani victory party, he had 70,000 people watching him. And this is why it's important to point out what a shitbag he is. Freedom Tunes did a video today that was sent to me, and it's actually kind of depressing because this is a guy who has so much clout with young people, And all the Freedom Tunes video is, speaking of my DMs, that one was DM'd to me. Where is that? I think that one was DM'd to me. Maybe that one was just sent to me in regular notifications. Fuck, I can't find it. Anyway, all it is Hassan talking and his dog's getting shocked in the background. And the audio for it is literally just all things Hassan has said in his own voice. It's not like a normal Freedom Tunes where they're doing Ben Shapiro's voice or anything like. This is just his statements. And if you watch it, it'd be very easy to be like, wow, look at the shit they're making up to make Hassan sound bad. But it's all real. It's all shit he said. You know what? Fuck it. Let's bring up Freedom Tunes real quick. Just to illustrate my point here. Why is that not typing where I told it to type? And why does Freedom Tunes not pop up immediately when I start typing freedom into my YouTube? We'll get to that in a minute. Videos. All right. Wait, why is the volume off? There we go. Somehow I accidentally muted my YouTubes. Make it big. Make it big, you fucker. Oh, it is full screen. No, it's not. Hang on, guys. I'm having technical difficulties here. Why is that not going full screen? That's bothering me. All right, go to videos. There we go. I don't know what happened there. All right. Anyway, unimportant. Just some technical difficulties. There we go. So we're going to start at the beginning here, and yeah, there's poor Kaya getting shot in the background.
America deserved 9/11, dude. I'm saying it. We fucking totally brought it on ourselves, dude. Holy shit.
That is not somebody doing Hassan's voice. It's literally audio from Hassan. And you can jump to any point in this video.
Get one of those like Hazal Dink type motherfuckers to just like eat his ass alive, you know?
It's all just him. It's all just him. And he says all kinds of crazy shit, and like seriously crazy shit. And he has a massive following, and you see the press trying to build him up. The dog abuse has started to fade, so they're starting to push him again, especially with Mamdani winning. They're like, look at the power this guy has. Fuck him and fuck all the idiots who follow him. All right, next up on our list today, and this is from the Never Question Monkey department, okay? I know I've told you guys this before, and yet sometimes y'all still question me, and you shouldn't do that. Monkey's awake. He's having technical y'all saw me trying to click the thing to make it bigger, and it wouldn't go bigger. You can't blame that on me. For some reason, I had to shut it down and reopen it to get it to do it. I don't fucking know. Anyway, From YouTube to state custody, viral fame destroys America's most inbred family. Dun, dun, dun. 3 members of America's most inbred clan have vanished from their decaying West Virginia compound. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all always want to argue with me about the inbreeding of West Virginia. Like, oh, they're not inbred. That's Alabama. I'm not saying there's not inbreeding in Alabama. I've never said all inbred people are from West Virginia. I'm just saying all people from West Virginia are inbred. They're inbreeders. And now I have scientific proof in the New York Post. The State Adult Protective Services took Ray Whitaker, his sister Laureen, and her son Timmy from the family's ramshackle property in the town of Odd. The town's name is Odd. All right, that's odd. In September, according to relatives who spoke to the Daily Mail, their sister Betty and their brother Larry told the outlet they were left behind without explanation and say they've had no contact with their loved ones since. And they blame social media for the state stepping in and going, you guys are living in a trash heap. But the important part here is West Virginia inbreeders. Never question monkey. Just saying. Plus, I just like taking a shot at West Virginia because I fucking hate that state. Actually, I don't hate the state. I hate driving through the state. I don't know the state well enough to hate it. All right, next up on our list is let's talk about reality. So this person, their pronouns are her, they, him. So technically, you can never misuse their pronouns because they cover all of them. Win, I suppose, but they are testifying at the state capitol, wherever the hell this was. I don't even care. On Assembly Bill 100, and this is a bill to keep sports separated by sex. Like you can't have boys beating up on girls. And they give us this wonderful take.
You playing sports, you can get hurt. And
yes, playing sports, you can get hurt. And what we do is we try to mitigate that as much as possible. It's why football players wear pads. It's why field hockey players wear shin guards. It's why hockey players have no teeth. We try to mitigate the damage as much as possible. We understand injury is going to happen. We get that. We understand. You don't have to say the obvious out loud.
Sure, we should concern ourselves about safety as much as possible. Absolutely.
We should concern ourselves with safety as much as possible. So he, she, they here agrees with me on that. We got to mitigate the damage. But
absolutely. But to say that trans female athletes are inherently more physically dangerous to biological female athletes is quite frankly absurd.
I don't know why she used air quotes to say biologically. Biology is not something you got to air quote. Air quote. Don't football pads cause more injury? Okay, there's two schools of thought when it comes to the football pads. Some people believe it is less injury. I am of the opinion, and honestly, I saw a rugby player talking about this the other day. They were watching the hardest hits in the NFL. And he even says that when you're playing rugby without pads on, you have to protect yourself. And I believe that's what's happened with the NFL, is that they've given these guys such gladiator armor that they will hurt themselves. If you did a lot of what the NFL does without pads on, you'd end up in a hospital. So I do believe that the padding, especially the shoulder pads and the helmet, and how futuristic they are, they've just made people throw their bodies at stuff without regard for what kind of damage it's really doing. And that if they were using the old leather helmets, that people wouldn't spear folks with their heads. So I agree with you, but the point behind them is still supposed to be safety. I guess I shouldn't say I agree with you. I should say, yes, I do hold that opinion. Anyway, so this person is telling us that, hey, it is not inherently safe to have boys, trans girls beating up the regular girls, the real girls, the biological, I'm air quoting for her, biological girls. That's retarded. It's absolutely retarded. Because again, this is the size of men versus women. This person, they talk about how they've had to face big girls in sports that they played. She's a 3-season athlete since before she could form memories. I forget her exact wording for that, but seriously, she's been doing 3-season sports since before she could form memories. Sure you did. But she's faced some big girls and they were bigger than her. So see, it's not just about bigger. Men are physically stronger. We have denser bones. Do you understand what denser bone means? Try this. Take a wiffle ball bat and hit yourself as hard as you can in the shin with it. Okay? Now do it with the Louisville Slugger. See if they feel the same. They're both baseball bats. See if they feel the same. Thank you, Keldrig. We have to mitigate the damage, except when the men dress like women and play in women's sports. Yeah, exactly. 100%. And Whitaker, thank you. At least we aren't like the... Oh, at least we aren't like the Fuggets of Kentucky. They were so bad. They turned blue. Wow. Wow. Still some... Are you like a Hatfield and you got McCoys around? What's up, Jack?
Yeah, it's going.
You know, living the dream. How you doing?
No, I'm all right. Had a little encounter with darkness.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
I'm laughing at our little weirdo here who's telling us that it's not inherently dangerous to have men playing sports with women.
Yeah. Oh my God. I could not believe this stupid bullshit.
And that's how Monk Backscan says, and that's how Monk got sued. If you do what Monkey tells you to, that is on you. I do not actually add. Hopefully, people are smart enough to know not to hit themselves in the shin with baseball bats.
There's this concept program called Jackass I wish to tell you about.
Yeah,
no,
people
are not that smart.
When people say that trans women are no different than biological women, just ask them why it's bad when men hit women. If there's no difference, it shouldn't make a difference. True. Yeah.
Yeah.
But see,
plus the disparity in sentencing.
There's a reason we have Title IX. It was to give women a chance because they couldn't compete with the boys. That's what it is. You guys do know that most male sports are not defined as you have to be a man to play this. That's not part of it. Women's sports is that way. You have to be a woman to play this. But men is mostly an open category. Like, if you can play, come play. And a lot of that has popped up because of court rulings and stuff. That's like, no, you got to let the girls play football. Like, all right. Got to let them try out. And then they try out and they get hurt. And people are like, oh, huh. But we used to acknowledge that men and women are different, that boys and girls are different. And again, it's not just size, which is all this person focuses on in their little talk here. It's not the size. Size doesn't matter. It's not just size. It's reaction time. It's bone density. It's muscle connectivity. Monk, you're trying to make sense. That won't work. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Now, on the plus side, a lot of this shit has died down. A lot of people have finally started being, maybe that's not true. But it still pops up, and when it does, we're still going to laugh at it because it's retarded. If boys and girls aren't the same, why does one have to sit down to pee?
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Because it's really messy otherwise. Thank you, Uncle Daddy Whitaker. Hey, Monk, we need that fresh DNA, and you got a purty mouth. Ugh.
That's in response to the story about the most inbred family in West Virginia being taken out of their compound. Look, I thought
this was America.
I did not mean to do that. I didn't make them inbred. That wasn't me. I just had pointed it out, and people have been like, no, it's Arkansas. Like, nope, it's West Virginia. Don't question, monkey. I'm smart. All right. Next up, we are going to get into the Shapiro thing. We're going to make that small, and then we're going to make it big, because that does things on my computer that you can't see. Haha. So Megyn Kelly's still doing her live show, and she had on Michael Knowles and then Ben Shapiro today. And they get into the Tucker stuff, which I found interesting. Now, I did watch the first part of this. We're coming to a point where I did stop watching it because I'm like, ooh, we should cover this since we covered the Tucker stuff.
Yeah.
The part that we're skipping, I'm going to be just honest with you guys. I had it playing, but I was also fucking around on Twitter. And so I missed bits and pieces of it. But what Ben is talking about at this specific moment, and I do have a little bit of an issue with Ben here. He's talking about how he has talked a lot about Zoran Mamdani and how in whatever time frame, I forget the time frame he uses, but in whatever time frame he uses, he says that Tucker on his show has only mentioned Mamdani once. In fairness to Tucker, Tucker does a different kind of show than Ben does. Ben covers the news. Tucker sits down with people and has conversations with them. So if Mamdani didn't come up or it wasn't, relevant to what they were talking about, and then it just wasn't relevant to what they were talking about. That doesn't necessarily mean he was hiding Mamdani or that he was, secretly hoping Mamdani would win. I will remind you guys that based on past public statements, it's very easy to assume that Tucker, at least at one point in his life, held some very Marxist views.
Yeah, I mean, on financial policies and giveaways, Tucker's probably all on board with the guy.
Yeah, economically, he is pretty Marxist, or at least was when he used to talk about it. Anyway, so that's what Ben has just finished talking about, is that he has said a lot about Mamdani that Megyn has, but Tucker really didn't on his show.
Okay, so
and he finishes up there. What they're clapping at is he says that if you are a conservative, you should be pushing conservative ideas and helping the conservative cause. That's what they're all cheering for.
Not in there. I think, just to be clear, so the breakdown from the detente after Charlie was him interviewing Fuentes. Was that the next thing that happened that led to the blow up?
I mean, yes. I mean, I had not spoken a word. There
so it
were
wasn't
things
that he attacked you, or you had
no,
something?
I don't care about
it
people
was that
attacking
interview.
me, and I don't think Tucker cares about people attacking him. I mean, again, we're professionals.
Tucker absolutely cares about people attacking him. And I think Ben does too, if I'm being honest. I think Ben ignores it better than Tucker does. But tons of people, I don't care when people attack me, and you can see that they do. Be like, just last week, somebody attacked me. Well, if you don't care, how did you know that? You care a little bit. Let's be honest. Just be honest. It's okay to be like, I hate when people call me a dick. Anyway.
We're in a business where people comment on what we say publicly. Again, this is why I think you and I differ on our angle with regard to, for example, Candace Owens. I think that what Candace Owens is doing right now is evil. It is evil what she is doing right now. Okay, and I say that again.
But what?
Because
I didn't opine on whether it's evil or not. But my position is it's really none of my business. And
why is it?
I don't opine on whether it's evil or not. This is important for what she's going to say in a minute, but it's not my place to question what she said. Really? Megyn, I like you. Why are you trying to make me hate you? If you want to be like, hey, I don't talk about Candace because I don't think about her or something like that. That's one thing, but it's not really my place. Well, then what is your place? I mean, technically, it's not your place to be talking about anything if you're going to take that. Hey, somebody said something. It's not my place to say anything about that.
That's true. Her place is the kitchen.
In the kitchen, making me a sandwich.
That's right. And babies.
And for the record, not with mayo, Miracle Whip. It's got a tangy zip and sugar in it, which I like.
Why are we sponsored by Miracle Whip and Hidden Valley Ranch?
We should Miracle Whip, Hidden Valley Ranch, and Pepsi should be paying me a shit ton of money.
You would think.
Anyway.
But I have a question. Why is it none of your business? I mean, you comment on these things for a living.
I'm not mother of the internet.
No, but
I'm not mother of the internet. You see, Megyn, this is one of those things we talked about with Tucker yesterday. That's a bad answer. That's a bad answer. Because you, by your definition of mother of the internet here, do that shit all the time. You comment all the time on what people say on the internet. So it's none of my business because I'm not the mother of the internet. Then all of the shit you cover, you probably shouldn't be covering. I'm not wrong in that, right?
Nope.
She just made the argument that everything she does is bad. Miracle Whip is garbage. I can only assume that you are a translucent American. I can't have flavor in my food. What are you, British?
Yeah, but if this were on the left and somebody were accusing Charlie Kirk of his wife having murdered him, I assume that you would be talking about it.
Is that what Candace is accusing Erica of?
Yes.
Are you not the mother of the internet, or are you not paying attention to what Candace is saying? Because those are two entirely different things with different answers.
Yeah, she's clearly not paying attention because that's been Candace's shtick for like 2 weeks now, at least.
It was just a moment ago where she's like, it's not my business to comment on those things. You don't even know what those things are. That's what you should have said. I'm not paying attention to her. And that's a valid thing to say. It really is, because if you don't want to pay attention to what Candace is saying, fine, don't pay attention.
I mean, I get it. If you're not paying attention to Candace, it's not the end of the world. It's understandable.
Of murdering her own husband?
She's accusing TPUSA insiders and other members of the right wing, including Seth Dillon, of being involved in the murder of Charlie Kirk, yes.
Okay. Like I said, I don't take in that content, which is an honest statement. I don't have...
Well, then why didn't you say that when he first asked you about it?
You ask a lot of questions, mister.
Your answer was, it's not my place to comment on that. See, this is what happens when you lie. She's trying to make herself look better and informed, like it's not my place to talk about that. When the real answer is, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Because I don't know what the fuck you're talking about makes her seem stupid, which it's not. You can't cover literally everything.
I like bananas.
It is kind of weird that she's not up on the Candace Owens thing, especially with Tucker and Nick Fuentes and all of this, because they're all kind of swirling together these days.
Yeah, they do kind of circle the same drain.
Thank you, Frosted. Miracle Whip is for defeating the slave final boss. I don't know what that means, but I will say it sounds like you like Miracle Whip, and I approve.
Time to watch.
No, I believe you. I believe you. But the point that I'm making is that when
what I understand
friendship
Candace
should
to
not,
have
in
been
our
doing.
business, I think it's important. Listen,
Candace
friendship
and I
should
are
not
friends.
trump.
We don't even know each other.
I understand, but even with Tucker, friendship should not trump our manifest requirement to speak out when people do and say things that are both detrimental to conservatism and morally wrong.
Okay,
I don't care about detrimental to conservatism, but yes, you should speak out when stuff is morally wrong. Whip, slave. Oh, I get you, Frosted. I get you. I've had this issue my entire time on YouTube. And we've seen this come and go over the years, but every so often somebody will do something horrible and people are like, that's my ride or die. I've got to stick with him. And then they eventually be like, oh yeah, that was kind of fucked up. I don't have ride or dies. I don't. If Jack did something heinous tomorrow, you better believe I'd be like, what the fuck did you do? Call him out immediately.
I restrict that stuff to the subterranean love den.
Fair enough. But especially in the team sports of politics these days, you have a whole bunch of people who are like, hey, he's our degenerate, so we don't care about the degenerate shit he did. Because they don't have principles. They just want to win. And it is detrimental to not to the conservative movement. It's detrimental to society. When you start excusing shitty behavior because it's your team doing it, who are you hurting? You're giving the other side ammunition, you fucking retards. And how hard is it to go, yeah, that was fucked up? That's a pretty easy thing to do. Yeah, that was fucked up. Nick Fuentes talking about how it was no big deal seeing mostly naked pictures of a 15-year-old boy when he's hanging out with his friend. Yeah, that's fucked up. There ain't no reason to even try to defend that. There's no reason to go to like, hey, but what about? No, just that was fucked up. I don't understand why more people can't do that. But anyway, Megyn, she's going to give us an excuse here.
People do and say things that are both detrimental to conservatism and morally wrong.
Okay, so I don't totally disagree, but I think the way of handling that, at least for me, is much different. So I
hate her. I don't totally disagree. You don't disagree that you should speak out against people morally bankrupt? What? Zan says, I need YouTube to go back to screen names. Apparently that's a setting you can control on your behalf. I don't know how to do it. Somebody told me about it. But yeah, it's a setting for you. All right.
I saw things go south between you and Tucker, at least from my vantage point, when you disagreed on Israel. That was obvious. And
Well-
he was, well, let me just make my point.
Sure.
And so he was saying things that were critical of Israel and our policy towards Israel. And then you did one show where you did what I thought you should have done if you disagreed with him, which clearly you did, which is say what you believe and what you think is factual and like educate your audience on what you think are the real facts and give them the evidence for it. But you
We're about to have a fucking women moment.
named him and it felt like an attack. And
When somebody says something stupid, what you should do is make your own show saying the real stuff, but don't call out who said the stupid shit. Don't call them out. That feels like an attack. Okay,
Yeah,
let's say
it might hurt their feelings.
let's say it is an attack. So what? If they said something stupid, what's wrong with attacking them for saying something stupid?
It'll hurt their feelings.
God, we're such pussies in this nation.
We didn't used to be, but we are now.
You shouldn't call him out by name just because he's the one that said. Let me help you out here, Megyn. I would have less respect for Ben if he didn't call out Tucker, because it would seem like he was bitching out and trying to hide who he was talking about rather than just being direct. Hey, you said something stupid. Somebody said something stupid. I don't want to offend anyone, so I'm not going to name names. That is such girl thinking.
Yeah.
You offended him by you named him and it sounded personal. Okay. I guess that's the part where she's like, I don't totally disagree with you. I just don't think you should call out the people who are saying the actual bad shit. Which is more.
Oh, here, let me
Go ahead.
let me give you a demonstration of how this would go if we were supposed to do it this way. There's a great idea for a podcast, guys. Okay, you guys. Today we're going to talk about you know who and what they said. They know what they did. They know what they did. Knock it off. The end.
Would you have more respect for somebody who goes, hey, Tucker said this and I disagree with him, or somebody said something and I disagree with them?
It always seems so pussy and cowardly to be like, somebody said this. I'm not going to tell you who, because that would require, the ability to look it up and fact check me.
And it's not like these were things that Tucker had said to Ben in private. He was responding to a thing Tucker said on camera. It's not like we couldn't have figured out who they were talking about. So just say it. Give a like. That's right, Big Joe. Give a like, guys. I don't say that enough. Like the show.
that to me was the beginning of the end, where he was like, now it's on. Because he felt personally attacked by you, as opposed to just challenging his idea. I think you named him and you kind of diminished him. And
I haven't seen the clip that they're talking about here, but I don't believe that Ben was like, Tucker is a poo-poo head. He's a dummy. He's ignorant. I hate him. He's probably gay. He wears bow tie. I have a feeling this is Ben Shapiro. He probably went, this is what actually happened. He's wrong right here where I can't do Ben's voice. Where he's talking about how the Israelis did XYZ, but here's what the Israelis actually XYZ. So this idea of
here's what they did. This is where Tucker's wrong. My wife's a doctor.
Yeah. I don't think that Ben was like personally attacking Tucker. I think he probably did go after what Tucker said. And Megyn, being a woman, was like, oh my God, you called him out by name. You attacked him personally. Because notice what she said there. She said, I think he felt personally attacked. Yeah. You could have asked Tucker about that yesterday, and maybe she did, and we didn't get to it. But ask him if he felt personally attacked by what Ben said, and then be like, what part was personal?
No, she's saving that question for Candace Owens. Like, was Tucker personally attacked by Ben Shapiro in the Jewish state?
Well, we have a problem in this society of ours that when you do challenge, you can challenge somebody's ideas and they do take it personally. That was a personal attack against me. No, it wasn't. There are a lot of people that I've called out the things they said that I am ambivalent towards. There's some that I loathe, and there's some I actually like. I mean, if you're wrong, I'm going to say you're wrong. I'm not just going to be like, I hope you don't mind me saying this. I don't want to offend you because I don't want my friends being stupid either. Anyway.
Why did you choose co-host wrong?
Black Romeo is putting in the chat. You use the handle which you can set in YouTube Studio to address another user, for example, by typing @handle in the chat message. Yeah, I don't know why YouTube went to this about using your Google name, but it's annoying. I wish they would fix it, but apparently it's something you got to do yourself. Anyway, back to Megyn and her feelings.
You know, he's an 800-pound gorilla, and if you mess with a gorilla, he's going to fight. And to me, that's where it started to go south. And because I remember that day being like, oh, shit. Well, I don't want to see this.
But here's the thing. I would urge everybody to go back and listen to the show that you're referring to, where I criticized Tucker's ideas, not Tucker as a person. Tucker then responded by claiming that I do not love America. That is a direct quote. That I do not love America because I was spending too much time covering the October 7th attacks, and then proceeded in January to then say that I wanted his children to die in a foreign war.
Again, I haven't seen the Ben clip, but I believe Ben here because I've seen enough of his clips that I just don't believe he personally attacked Tucker. And
yeah, he gives
the direct quote there of saying that Ben doesn't love America. I believe Ben knows the direct quote too. Remember, we showed yesterday Tucker telling us that Representative Fine laughed at dead kids. And then I showed you he absolutely didn't. So, anyway, nobody, thank you so much. Have either of you seen the movie The Lost Castle? If not, I highly recommend it. I have never even heard of The Lost Castle.
It doesn't sound familiar off the top of my head. I'm looking it up now.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
Okay, so those are different.
That's a rhetorical.
No, it is
point.
not. I'm sorry, it's not. It's an attack on.
Okay, I just Ben saying that. She even says you did what I think you should have done is come out there and give your points, but you named him, not insulted him. You named him, and therefore I feel like that's where he took it personally. And he's an 800-pound gorilla. He gonna punch you back. Ben points out where Tucker actually personally attacks Ben, and her response is, "Well, that's rhetorical. That's rhetorical. You should come on now." Just because it's actually what he said. What Ben didn't say was a personal attack. The actual personal attack. It's just rhetorical. It's just rhetorical.
Yeah, it's a bit hypocritical on Megyn's part.
Megyn, why are you making me dislike you? You're smarter than this, and you know you're smarter than this. I get it. Tuck is your friend, and you wanna stick up for him, but he's in the wrong in that situation. If you're talking about which one personally attacked the other, it was Tucker. And he did it because he got his feelings hurt over Ben arguing back against the points Tucker made. God bless, man. This is why you're on the right. I'm really not, because everybody's fucked up. I'm on my team, and it often coincides with the right, but I'm not on the right because these are the representatives of the right.
Well, it's the same mindset that we see out of the left, where you just have to be unified. You can't have internal conflict or disagreement.
Ben is her friend too. She knows Ben. She actually wasn't she at Fox when Tucker was there?
Yes.
Motivation is a very different thing from an attack on an idea.
His point was that you were sounding like a neocon, and he's upset with anybody who wants us to get too involved in Israel's conflict because he feels it endangers American children.
Okay. The idea that, number one, the idea that I want the United States to be directly involved in Israel's conflict is not true.
No, I know that, Ben.
I've been urging Israel.
His point is that you're going to get American kids killed. I have not at all suggested America get directly involved. I know.
I know, but you hurt his feelings.
What are you sticking up for Tucker's dumbass point for then? Look, Ben Shapiro is not Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham actually wants to go to war everywhere.
Yeah.
Ben hasn't suggested that with Israel. Hey, we should get in there and kick that ass for him. He hasn't suggested that, but that's what Tucker is putting out there. I'm paraphrasing before anybody's like, he didn't say that. That's what he's suggesting Ben has been doing. And her comeback to that is, I know you didn't say that. It's amazing the amount she sees in the penumbra of anything about Ben, but that she can't see in the direct language of Tucker.
Yeah. That's very frustrating.
This is literally women thinking, and I'm going to tell you why. This is the whole thing where Ben is being manly, saying what he actually says and means, and Megyn being the woman going, I know what you really think. I'm reading between the lines. I'm what you actually said. Oh my God. Men and women shouldn't communicate. We just shouldn't communicate. We should only hook up, have our babies, and then go our separate ways. I'm convinced of that shit.
To get off of American aid for literally as long as I have been active in politics.
But I'm making clear what his point was.
But my point is that that's not his point. And again, none of this.
So we disagree.
We disagree on the interpretation of what Tucker has been doing for the past 2 years. And it's very difficult for me to believe that Tucker is merely anti-Israel when, for example, today, in his newsletter.
Wait for it.
I mean, I can directly quote it if you'd like. In his newsletter today, he claimed that Zoran Mamdani is not anti-Semitic.
I think Tucker has hit his head or something and we just didn't know it.
Maybe I have a theory. See, Fetterman had that stroke, right? What if it's like what's it, the quantum theory where particles, there's actually symbiotic relationship between two particles, so it can be in two places at the same time. What if Tucker and Fetterman are somehow connected on a quantum level? And the stroke affected Tucker, and it undid whatever was wrong with Fetterman.
You know, at least that would make some sense. I could get behind that theory.
That's just science, man. I just explained science.
But the little Muslim, he's not anti-Semitic. Not to see here.
Direct anti-Semitic quotes that he's made.
Well, those don't exist because Tucker said so.
Yeah.
Now, this is as far as I've seen. I don't know what happens from here.
This was his newsletter today, this morning. I mean, I'm happy to read the text. It's a little extraordinary because again, it is kind of shocking stuff. So here's what Tucker Carlson wrote in his newsletter today, or what his newsletter says under his name. He said, "Is the incoming mayor a fan of Israel? Does he want America to fight its wars? Not particularly. But a Jew hater? That's a different conversation. We've never seen anything to suggest he falls into that ugly camp."
Nothing.
Tucker doesn't do research at all, dude. Like none.
We're talking about fighting the left, defending Zohar Mamdani, who literally said that Hamas, he has no opinion whether Hamas should disarm, who posed alongside the 1993 World Trade Center unindicted co-conspirator, who would not disown globalize the Intifada, who suggested that whenever there is a New York Police Department boot on somebody's neck, it's an IDF lacing the strings.
Yeah, he's not anti-Jew at all.
Nah, where are you getting that? You're messing with the dude wearing a yarmulke. Come on, you tell me he doesn't bring the facts to the table? You'll be kicked out of the club for that shit.
Suggest that that's not anti-Semitic in any way? No way.
Okay, but listen.
Or I'm
going to give you a defense of Tucker here, and I don't need to defend Tucker because I'm not Tucker.
Tucker can
but
perfectly
I'll
well
just
defend
say,
himself.
I think in general, because I know him and I listen to him and I understand generally where he's coming from. He would say his problems are with Israel, and he would say that shot that Mamdani laid against the IDF is a shot against the IDF and Israel.
The IDF controlling the New York Police Department.
Yeah, I'm not quite getting how you can dismiss that so easily.
And
this is the same shit that what's his face Fuentes says.
Yes.
You know, oh, I'm not anti-Semitic because I've never said anything anti-Jew, just anti-Zionist. No, bullshit. That all these fucking neo-Nazi types and the left-wing Jew conspirators all say this shit. They blame the Jews regardless. It's such a load of bullshit. Just be honest about who you are.
Yeah, and they hide behind the nonsense. No, I'm just talking about Israelis.
Yeah,
but you say they control everything here. The Israelis here?
They're pro-war, not against Jews.
Okay.
And I think
all I can say is when Tucker Carlson finds himself in complete alignment with Zohar Mamdani, it is very difficult for me to believe that he does not agree with Zohar Mamdani.
Is in a place right now of the same place that Charlie was getting to toward the end of his life, the same place that some people had tried to drive me, which is you're under withering, nonstop accusations of being something you know you're not. But
Really? Hey, Megyn, I don't believe that you don't watch Candace now. I'm going to throw that out there because you just pulled up that nonsense about at the end of his life, Charlie was getting there. Charlie's been talking about how he's been called a Nazi forever. He's pointed that shit out for half a decade.
There's way too much evidence that he was a big supporter of Israel, so I'm just not buying it.
Yeah. This is the point Charlie was getting to at the end. That is a Candace Owens talking point, and you goddamn well know it. Mom of the internet.
From some people who you love and who you've been protecting, at least in my case and Charlie's case, for 2 years, who you've been completely defensive of.
Megyn,
and Charlie and I both felt, and because we talked about this on my show, like, what's happening here? Why are they dropping charges of anti-Semitism against us when we love Jews and we're both open Semites? We're Zionists.
So Megyn, you may notice, I'm just talking about me here. Are there people who are overzealous? Sure. Have I ever attacked you?
No, never.
Did I ever attack Charlie publicly about any of this?
No.
Okay, he and I had disagreements behind the scenes. Did I ever?
You get defensive, and I think Tucker's feeling defensive.
By the way, I waited to attack Tucker until he glossed Nick Fuentes, that has nothing to do with Israel. Nick Fuentes hates Jews.
I'm not.
Thank you.
Yeah. Good job, Ben. Saying what nobody on the internet seems to want to say, except people like us that are nobodies. No offense, Monkey.
She was talking about her last conversation with Charlie where he was talking about getting attacked by Jewish activists. I understand that, but I also understand where this is coming from. This is her just desperately trying to defend Tucker, and instead of just saying what Tucker says, she has to invoke Charlie, where he was getting to at the end of his life, where my point being that was his whole life. Starting with racist and sexist, he had been accused of being everything since the beginning. And he talked about it since the beginning. The change that she's talking about, and she didn't even have the balls to say that, exactly what the change was. About people coming after him for being anti-Semitic, which I don't have an opinion on. I haven't seen enough of his statements about that stuff. I do know that the nonsense that Candace put out about how the Jews were like, we're going to get you, was nonsense. And we know it's nonsense because that letter actually got released and it didn't say a goddamn thing that she said it said.
Nope.
Tucker
You didn't have a
massaged
right
him.
to go after him. I mean, you did what you thought was right, and you felt, and he mentioned you a few times in his interview with Nick Fuentes.
He did, but again, I don't think it's about that, because if he had not mentioned me in that interview with Nick Fuentes, I still would have said something about it, because again, glossing people who are white supremacists is bad electorally on a pragmatic level. A right wing that embraces its own fringes will end up in the same position as a left wing that has embraced
Okay, so
its
that's
fringes.
why I want to get into it.
I want to pause right there because I saw something today that irritated me for several reasons. It was somebody making excuses for Tucker's interview with Fuentes, which I don't think he needs to make excuses for having the discussion. I think the way the discussion went is where the criticism lies. But the guy said, CNN had Richard Spencer on in 2019 and nobody said anything. Wrong. Not only did many people, like us, Jack, point out the absurdity of CNN having Richard Spencer on, when they did have him on, do you know what it said on the screen?
No.
It said
Don't
Richard
remember.
Spencer, white supremacist. Sorry, white nationalist. It didn't say Richard Spencer, the number one person that young men are listening to. Should they have had him on? I don't care. But at least they were honest about who he was. And how dare you make me fucking defend CNN?
To be
These are
fair,
not
Richard Spencer and CNN have a lot more in common.
fair. But these are not comparable. There was literally no pushback to that little dweeb, that flaming flamer. I know CNN got no pushback. Like, what are you, born yesterday? Because yes, they did. There were articles written about how they shouldn't have put Richard Spencer on, and there's a reason he was never on again. But at least they were honest about who he was. Meanwhile, Tucker, we saw yesterday. He's like, well, yeah, I knew what he said about J.D. Vance's wife, but I wasn't sure if I should spread that or at least be honest with your audience and say, you tell me who you are. You tell me who you are. Because if you're going to take that nonsense, let's take it to its inevitable place. Don't you then have to be like, oh, well, you say you're a woman, so you're a woman. I shouldn't look at any of the other evidence. You say you're a woman, so that's what you are.
You just have a really big clitoris.
Yeah. It's not my place to see what these people have actually said. I just let them say what they want to say. Get fucked. He knew the bad shit about Fuentes and hid it. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Jack.
Well, he did the same thing with Tate. Real quick, though.
Oh, yeah,
Thank you, Frank. I'm tired of them hiding behind Israel's Zionist. We know they mean all Jews. Yeah, absolutely. I've proved coworkers wrong on the Jews run the banks, and now they keep calling me a good goyim. They a question mark there. Yeah, goyim. Yeah, don't worry about it. They do tend to be nepotistic / tribal, but they don't run the world. Yeah, and that's the problem. Is there's a level of it that's actually jealousy because Jews tend to help each other out and support each other because historically they've had to, much like gypsies do the same thing. So yeah, just because they've been successful in certain industries that they encourage their kids and other family members to go into, doctors, lawyers, because those are successful businesses, successful industries, accountants, lawyer, same thing. So that's the problem, is that they're able to be successful, and there's a level of jealousy that comes with that. Like, how come they support each other, but I can't get that? How come they're successful, no, I'm not?
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't buy this whole Jews run everything bullshit. I think that's a lazy dummy mentality. There's plenty of good actual conspiracies out there. That is one of the laziest.
It reminds me of football. Whatever team is doing the best in football suddenly becomes the biggest cheaters in history. And every time they get away with a hold, it's like, look, the refs are helping them.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the worst team in the league is doing just as much holding and getting away with it just as often.
Well, I mean, for us filthy casuals, that would be like the Patriots bitching constantly, and they were the ones cheating.
Yeah. So there is a thing where people are like, we got to tear down the winners. Look, if you want to know whether or not it's actual anti-Semitism or anti-Israel, just pay attention to any time you do any kind of defense and what any kind of defense of the Israelis. Like, I cannot tell you how many times I've been called a Jew as an insult for just pointing out the reality of what's gone on in the Gaza war.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go ahead and tell me those people who are using Jew as an insult just hate Israelis.
Yeah, it does kind of ruin their point. Or you're a Jewish operative, or you are Mossad, or it's such lazy nonsense.
I'm fairly certain that I have been called Jewish more than I've been called Christian in arguments online.
Dude, you've probably been called Jewish more than you've called Republican shill.
It's right up there. It's very close. And Republican shill is way closer to the truth than me being Jewish. I am circumcised, but not because of Judaism. My mom just didn't want me to have the tip of my wiener, apparently.
Yeah, she was like, no foreskin for you.
No foreskin for you. Now I need that as a clip. All right, let's move along.
Embraces.
Wait.
Yes.
So
the left wing that has embraced.
Okay, so that's why I want to get into it. Embraces.
Yes.
So now, having spoken to Tucker, I actually see that interview very differently. And I did listen to the interview, and I knew what Nick Fuentes was. And I think he did show himself to be who he is. It wasn't his most vile stuff, but you got the feel for what this guy was. But I really think Tucker was talking to him, Ben, to put like a bumper on this guy. Because what Tucker...
Did you watch the same interview I did? Jesus Christ, what are you talking about?
What was that bumper when he agreed we need a feudalist state? She tried doing this yesterday in the part that we saw. She was like, so were you trying to and Tucker actually pushed back against what she was saying there. He didn't go, yeah, I was trying to educate this guy, because she asked him that specifically. And Tucker didn't go, yeah, that's what I was doing. Instead, he goes, no, I was just letting him talk. But she knows that. She is very good at reading people's motives. Fuck what they say. She knows what they really mean. Megyn, come on. You're making me regret every time I've ever said you were smart. This is why I told you I need my daughter to do a show, because at least then I'd know there's one smart woman influencer out there.
I was urging him the whole time was to understand that collective punishment for any one group of people is wrong. It's deeply immoral, and it's
that was not the entirety of their conversation. It was like, what, almost a 2-hour interview?
Yeah.
It was not 2 hours of Tucker going, hey, stop with the blood libel shit. That's not what happened, Megyn.
Christian, which this guy is supposed to be, and reminding him of how deeply immoral that is, that you should not
That's literally like a 15-second clip. We watched it on the show.
Yeah.
be looking at a group of people, whomever it is. The left does it to everyone, whites mostly, but like this collective shame, white men in particular. And there's a group of people like Nick Fuentes that does it to groups of Jews. And he was making the case throughout the whole interview in the way that Tucker does. He's not like you or me. He's not like pointed and cross-examining.
That is not true.
Thank you, Ben. I don't know what he's about to say, but he just said that's not true. And thank you, Ben. Because she is, I don't know what the fuck she watched. I have no idea. Megyn. Maybe she was watching it the way I watch things. She was playing a video game and she didn't catch half of it. And she just thinks that's what was said.
She's got a lot of kids, so maybe.
Jesus. This is okay.
Interview in the way that Tucker does. He's not like you or me. He's not like pointed and cross-examining.
That is not true.
And was making...
That is fundamentally untrue.
No.
Senator Ted Cruz whether that is true.
He gave it to Ted Cruz because Ted Cruz is a politician.
That's, yeah. Well, hold up. So only politicians get cross-examined?
You don't, well, look.
Truly?
For God's sake, man. Okay. Ted Cruz is an elected official. What Nick Fuentes does is politics. He's a pundit, but it is a political punditry. You can't have pointed questions because he's not elected. That's retarded, Megyn.
Yeah, she's trying a little too hard to run apologetics for Tucker and Fuentes. Maybe she doesn't think she is, but she absolutely is.
Goddamn, she's floundering here. She is. Because, and I have to believe this is because she knows she's wrong and she's just trying to glaze for her buddy.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I have to really notch her down on the intelligence scale that I've assigned to her.
Yeah, I don't think she's that stupid. I think she might be trying to convince herself, though.
Yeah, and that's my problem, is because I don't think she's stupid. If I thought she was stupid, this would be much easier to take.
Yeah.
Like when I watch Candace, I don't get offended because I know that woman's an idiot. She's great at marketing. She's a fucking idiot. I mean, this is a woman who accidentally said Hitler did nothing wrong. You have to be
accidental.
These days, maybe it wasn't. She didn't mean to say it the way she said it. I do believe that. But she's a retard, so. Truth Matters, thank you so much. Most of Tucker's questions were softball and not like a confrontational interview like Mike Wallace. Yeah. And if they want to say that, that's fine. But the question then becomes, why wasn't it? It doesn't have to be controversial, but we saw in the Tucker interview with Megyn last night that he purposefully avoided things that were controversial. He, like the JD Vance wife stuff, that's probably the worst of what we saw, at least, Jack, of him going, yeah, I knew that happened, but I didn't really want to talk about that. He didn't have to be horribly controversial. He could have just been like, you say all this horrible stuff about JD's wife. Why? That's not controversial. That's just asking a question.
Depends on the person.
Tucker would never cross-examine a person who is not a politician. That's his rule.
Tucker has excoriated public figures who purport to speak for us and represent.
He's done that to private people, too.
Nick Fuentes claims to be the real leader of America First. He is very public. What part of that doesn't apply to him? What part of that doesn't apply to him?
Well, he wasn't elected, see. It's an anointment.
She didn't say that here. Listen to her words.
Depends on the person.
Tucker would never cross-examine a person who is not a politician. That's his rule.
Tucker has excoriated public figures who purport to speak for us and represent us for many years.
that is not elected people. If you want to say elected, Megyn, say elected. But Ben's right here. That Tucker has cross-examined people who aren't elected officials. You're lying right here.
Yeah.
You are trying to dress this up to make it like, no, he doesn't talk to anybody except for Ted Cruz that way. Get fucked. Oh, I hate politics. Truth matters. Thank you. Megyn Kelly is Candace with a suit and tie. Both have the same style, and that's gossip commentary. Maybe that's why I've moved so far away from watching Megyn Kelly. I think when she covers something for real, she can be very good at what she does. I think here she's just glazing for Tucker, which is stupid.
Yeah.
She's destroying her own integrity to stand up for Tucker, who, again, there's nothing wrong with him talking to Nick Fuentes. It's how he did it. And that's the real problem. And it should be fine to say, yeah, he's allowed to talk to him, but he should have brought up X, Y, Z. Should have let his massive audience know what this prick is really about. Because he's never shied away from doing that with other people. I mean, part of his whole shtick on Fox was how confrontational he was with guests.
Yeah. Yeah. Of every aspect. So it's not like he was just confrontational with one group. No, he did it to everybody. Now he doesn't do it to anybody that mildly agrees with him.
Yep.
Nick Fuentes is a podcaster civilian.
Okay, I just
Wait, you don't get to do that. No.
No, she did this shit to Alex Jones, who's a podcaster civilian.
That is a good point, but that is not where I was going. That is an excellent point. You're not wrong about that at all. God, I wish I had thought of that one. My point was going to be just yesterday, she was telling us how influential Nick Fuentes was with his 5 million subscribers.
Yeah, so is he a public figure or not? She's trying to have it both ways to protect her friend.
Yep.
Don't do that shit, guys. Sometimes your friends fuck up. It's okay to call them on it.
It was 24 hours ago that you were agreeing with Tucker that Nick Fuentes is the most influential creator with young men. And now you're like, let's listen to it again.
For many years, Nick Fuentes is a podcaster civilian.
okay. I just have a
Well, does it matter his influence or not? Because you just even before this, you said that he questioned people who claim to be leaders.
Yeah.
Who purported to talk for us.
Yeah, she's trying way too hard to protect somebody that's not there that has made mistakes.
I need to rename this. Megyn Kelly is dumber than I thought.
Yeah, I don't know if she's dumber or she's just trying to run interference for somebody she likes.
Oh, she's clearly trying to run interference. I mean, this literally goes against everything she just said yesterday about Nick Fuentes.
Yeah.
And like you pointed out, how she treated Alex Jones, who was just a podcaster. She had no problem going after him and helping bring him down and get $1 billion judgment against him.
Yeah.
Damn, I wish I had thought of that point.
That's why you keep me around. I occasionally do something productive.
No, but it is important to this conversation because now she's suddenly making it. It's just a podcaster. Well,
just a podcaster, bro.
By that telling, Megyn, have you ever questioned anything about Hassan Piker? What about Andrew Tate? I know you've talked about Tate.
Yeah.
question. We all in our industry are constantly excoriating people who are in our industry. It happens all the time, every single day.
Okay.
Okay. Again,
But we're talking about his interviews.
we can agree to disagree on your interpretation of what Tucker was doing there. I think everybody should watch and determine for themselves what they think Tucker was doing in that interview, and I urge you to watch it back to back with the Ted Cruz interview to determine whether you think that was an aggressive Tucker Carlson interview, and you can judge for
I
yourself.
didn't say
You
it
don't have
was
to take my
aggressive.
opinion.
I didn't say it was aggressive, and I don't think he would say it was aggressive.
And
I
I think
his
that-
point was,
But you said that he doesn't get aggressive with people. That's Ben's point there.
Yeah, she's being contradictory, and I don't think she realizes she's doing it. That's why she's getting a little annoyed with Ben. She's like, "Go back to the Shire, you hobbit." But yeah, he's right.
He is. Rod line, it was your birthday, and we do this. And a 1 and a 2. Happy birthday.
Happy
you.
birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
To you.
Happy birthday, dear Rod
dear
line.
Rodline.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, sir. Hope you had a good one. I really, really do.
this guy, first of all, he's become a behemoth, sadly. He's got 5 million viewers on Rumble.
No, he doesn't. He has 5 million subscribers.
You were just telling us how unimportant he is.
Well, he's just a podcaster, but also one of the most influential podcasters in the history of mankind, Monkey.
God damn, Megan, you were just
I feel like she should be flipping a coin to make decisions like Two-Face.
We're not done with this interview. I just needed to look at my kitty cat's fuzzy belly to calm down for a second.
That's a weird statement, but okay.
Look how fluffy and cute she is.
That reminds me, I have a piece that I really want to cover tonight.
Okay.
Near the end of the show. So,
sure,
if we have time, I think you'll find it very intriguing.
So I want to let you know that this here in the middle, that area that looks like it wants to be pet, do not ever touch that.
Yeah, that's a trap. That's a cat trap.
By the way, it is as soft and fluffy as it feels. When I hold her
it's like a Venus flytrap. You're like, oh, it's so alluring. It looks like it wants to be petted. And then you come back with about an ounce of less blood.
No, when I'm holding her, when I'm cradling her like a baby, she actually likes to have her tummy rubbed. So I get to pet it all the time, just not if she's on her back like that on the floor.
No, that's Venus cat trap.
Lady Monkey, I wanted to pet her belly, and I had her, in the cradle position. I'm petting her belly.
Why? Did Lady Monkey like that?
No, I'm talking about the cat. I'm holding her. And
you started that sentence with the possessive of Lady Monkey. She was the noun in that sentence. You didn't specify
I'm going to move on.
Involved at all.
I'm just moving on.
Sorry.
Nah, it's all right.
He's got 1 million followers on X.
I agree.
This is all before Tucker Carlson. And he was platformed, I hate that verb, but he was platformed by Patrick Bet David. And he went on Dave Smith's show, and he went on another big show. He's been getting more and more purchase in the political ecosphere, including
Yeah, Candace was just on with Dave Smith too, and he said he had his conversation with the, I quote, great Candace Owens. I reached out. Yeah. I reached out to him and asked, what's great about her? He hasn't responded yet, so I don't think he's gonna.
No, who is Dave Smith?
Dave Smith is a very popular libertarian creator who's not so much libertarian as stupid.
We've talked about this guy before, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought. It just didn't ring a bell.
Yeah, he's modern libertarian, which means pseudo anarchist who embraces mostly left-wing nonsense. Yeah. So yeah, he's a dumbass. Look, I'm not going to disagree with her that lots of people are giving Nick Fuentes attention because it's true. But it doesn't help her point where she's trying to be like, well, Tucker only goes after influential people, to then turn around and be like, he's everywhere and he's blowing up real big. And what point did you think you were making there?
Yeah, I don't know what she's doing here. I don't think Ben understands what she's trying to do either.
He's married, so he's argued with women before, I'm sure. Do you ever think his wife, when they're arguing, looks at him and go, I'm a doctor?
I think she does that all the time. That's why he says that. My wife's a doctor. She reminds me constantly that she's a doctor.
Yeah, no one's arguing that Nick Fuentes hasn't been being pushed by some really questionable people. The question is whether or not you platform him and don't fucking challenge him. And don't let your audience know who this fucking guy is. Just like Tucker did with Andrew Tate.
Yeah.
Don't forget, it wasn't that long ago that a ton of right-wing influencers were glazing Tate. They all came out like, he's being attacked just like Trump is. That was an actual argument that many of them were making.
Yeah. Yeah. It is being attacked by things that were totally unrelated to anything Trump ever did.
Yep.
It's kind of gross.
There are some bad actors on the right now who I don't believe are actually right. I think if I put on my tinfoil hat, Jack, I would think that they are leftist plants who are like, this is who the right really likes, because nothing else makes sense. It doesn't make sense to glaze somebody like Andrew Tate or Nick Fuentes. Especially like Andrew Tate isn't even right wing when they were doing this. He didn't talk politics, but the right wing all came out. Look, can you believe they're trying to shut down this guy who says that he steals money from men?
Beats women.
And now they're like, he's the most popular among young. Bullshit. Sneeko's more popular than he is.
Aiden Ross more popular than Tate or Fuentes. Yeah.
Aiden Ross is way more popular. Asmongold, way more popular and actually gets views.
Yeah, that is more entertaining, let's be honest.
Wing.
And I think that's
Patrick
bad.
Bet-David has a huge show. I know, but did you know that Patrick
Bet
Bet-David had him on? Did his life blow up?
Patrick Bet-David did a significantly more aggressive interview with Nick Fuentes than Tucker did.
Okay, but my point is simply he's growing. He's growing in stature.
Nobody said he's not growing, and I'll say it. He's not growing. He's being pushed, and those are two different things.
Even if he does grow in influence, he will never grow in height. He's always going to be a tiny little hobbit man.
True story. He makes Ben look tall.
Yeah, he does.
Remember, this conversation right now is all about how Tucker interviewed him. It's like, did you know he went on another podcast? And Ben's like, yeah, and that guy ripped him. Like, but my point being is that he was on there. Once again, I have no problem with people having Nick Fuentes on. Just be honest about who he is. If people were honest about who Fuentes was, he'd go away. They'd stop amplifying. Yeah, stop amplifying him. They would stop amplifying him because they'd be like, oh shit, it's this guy? And instead, they're all ignoring it. She brought up the point, Ben countered, then she abandoned it immediately. Yes, it's so fucking weird to watch. And for the record,
because she knew she was wrong.
Keep going, bud.
No, she knew she was wrong. That's it. That's all it needs to be said. Because once she's proven wrong, she just moves on to try and protect him in some other aspect. Like she's just throwing things that is deflector shields, trying to find a weak point.
Yes. And this is why most people should not get into arguments publicly, because most of them aren't good at it and they haven't put enough thought into what they're saying. And you're talking to Ben Shapiro.
Yeah.
Say what you want about Ben Shapiro, but the man can argue. I want to argue with Ben Shapiro because I want to match wits with him. I'll take whatever position. We'll each we'll pick something out debate style, just some random topic, and we have to blindly get either for or against, and I want to match wits with him because the man can fucking argue. It's what I like about Ben Shapiro. Assassin of the Gray, thank you so much. Glazing you, making a donut, or whacking off on him? Whacking off on him. Zami gibberish excuse for
Zoomy.
slang makes everyone who used it sound pants on head, corky, tarded. As a lesson, all this goes to Galactus Jack. Well, as a lesson, now none of it's going to him because you sent it to me. How you like me now? And I will say glazing all the damn hell I want to. In fact, I'm going to pepper it. Does anybody remember what happened when somebody whined because I mentioned my wiener too much? Anybody remember what happened? For 6 years, I mentioned my dick every night because that's who I am. N47, thank you so much for that very
Thank you
generous
very
donation.
much, Assassin.
N47, thank you so very much for that donation with
Oh,
no
yeah.
message. Thank you. Go ahead, bud.
Yeah, thank you, N47, for the very generous donation with no message. Appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
Thanks, Assassin. Yeah, I haven't heard the phrase pants on head corky tarded, or corky retarded, usually is what it is, but I haven't heard that in years. So a little nostalgia trip. Thank you. Because pants on head retarded is a phrase we need to bring back.
I've never heard the term pants on head retarded. I've heard corky tarded. How many of you in the audience know what that comes from? What? I've never heard it before.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I mean, this is a new day for you.
I get the Corky reference. That one's an easy one because, yeah, life goes on. I hated that goddamn show. My dad used to watch it. And I'm going to be honest, I hated when Corky was on.
I hated that show because it had a retard on it.
I don't dislike retards. Like I said, one of my favorite people when I worked at Walmart was a door greeter, and he was drool on himself retarded. I'm not being mean. He actually was. But them trying to get retarded people to act, it never works because they can't emote right. And so it always seems like they're just annoyed at everything. Go ahead, but we picked up our lag again, guys. Sorry.
Yeah, no,
go ahead, Jack.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. When I was working with special needs people, one of my coworkers said, "Hey, go to this event." It was for awareness, and it was still called retardation at the time. And I said, "Sure, why not? Something to do. Gonna hang out with one of my friends. No big deal." And because there was free food involved as well, and she already had the tickets because somebody else backed out. And I was like, oh, "Okay, whatever." So we go, and one of the speakers is the guy that played Corky. And he did singing and dancing numbers. And I never wished I had a camera with me more than I did at that moment. So I got to watch Corky do a song and dance number like Fred Astaire style. And I can't tell you how much I cherish that memory.
Oh, I would too. That sounds absolutely brilliant.
I wonder if there's footage of that online, because that was a pretty big deal at the time.
How long ago was it?
Oh, it was 20 years ago now.
If there is, it's probably going to be really bad video. Because you're talking flip phones for recording back in the day. All right, let's get back to our Megyn. You just, I don't want to hit play. She's making me hate her.
And so what I saw Tucker do was not whitewash his ideas, but try to put bumpers up on the guy.
You just talked to Tucker last night about how he didn't bring up any of the bad shit Nick has said and done. You just had that conversation last night. Hang on.
Tucker did.
Okay, but my point is simply he's growing. He's growing in stature. And so what I saw Tucker do was not whitewash his ideas, but try to put bumpers up on the guy. I know Tucker.
Jack.
Monkey.
How is purposefully not bringing up things that you know this guy said and done that are horrible not whitewashing? Can you make that?
It's totally whitewashing.
They literally talked about that last night, right? I didn't imagine that. I mean, at the end of that conversation, of that part of the conversation, Tucker even says, maybe I was wrong. Megyn, you saw what you wanted to see. It doesn't matter what was actually there. Go back and watch again and watch the entire thing and see how much of it is that bumper nonsense you're trying to talk about, which, by the way, makes zero sense because the bumper that he's putting up there is being like, shh, hide your anti-Jewish shit.
Well, and I think that was his approach. And the way, if you want to put a bumper up on Nick Fuentes, is it helpful to say, you're fucking vile, you're an anti-Semite?
Yes, it's absolutely helpful to point out he's a vile piece of shit to your large fucking audience. Instead, because in her mind, it's like, oh, he was trying to rehabilitate. When she says bumper, what she means is re-educate, rehabilitate. Try to make Nick see the error of his ways. Nick's not going to see the error of his ways.
Do you really want to do that with some of these people?
Do what?
Rehabilitate them. Like, so some people are so brand damaged, you can't rehabilitate their image.
Well, that's kind of where I was getting at. And do you want to? Tucker's clearly did, if we're going by Megyn's interpretation. But Nick has been this way for quite a while. Tons of people have tried to tell him, dude, calm down, back it off. Here's reality. And all he does is go like, well, Stalin was my hero. He said that on he knows Stalin's birthday. That's an important day to him. And you think Tucker going, hey, don't hate the Jews, that's going to have some kind of fucking effect? Come on, Megyn, you are not this dumb. You're not. Truth matters. Thank you so much. The worst part is Tucker doing a photo op with his arm around Nick with a big smile. I honestly don't care about photo ops and who people get their pictures taken with most of the time. I mean, that's a common thing that they do on podcasts. I understand why people are annoyed at it, but I care much more about what was and wasn't said during the interview. Jack, do you care about the post-interview pictures that people do? I mean, if you're going to be on the podcast with them, is it really worse to take a picture with them after?
No, it's promotion. That's gonna be a normal thing that happens. If you're on their show, they're gonna use that as promotional material. It's kind of to be expected, isn't it?
Yeah. Fuentes is just too far on the nose to be a gay op. I don't think he's a gay op at all. I think he's a fucking retard. Anyway.
Yes. No, it isn't.
Yes,
that doesn't put a...
Yes,
no, it isn't. That
She's literally going to the telling fat people they're fat doesn't actually get them to stop being fat argument.
But try to put bumpers up on the guy. I know Tucker well, and I think that was his approach. And the way, if you want to put a bumper up on Nick Fuentes, is it helpful to say, you're fucking vile, you're an anti-Semite?
Yes.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it
that
is.
doesn't put a...
Yes,
No, it isn't. That makes the audience feel good because you have hand-to-hand combat, but it doesn't help change that guy's view or his extreme.
Okay, stop right there, Megyn. Stop right. What you just said is the reason why people go, online debates don't matter. They don't change anybody's mind. Because you're thinking that Tucker Carlson in any way could have changed Nick Fuentes' mind during that. Wasn't going to happen. It is for the audience. And the audience hearing what a shitbag he is and seeing what a shitbag he is would help erode what little influence that you think is massive that he does have. And she's just like, it wouldn't change his mind. And this is why she keeps using that bump. No. Rehabilitation, re-education, whatever you want to say. You're talking about changing Nick Fuentes' mind, which was never going to happen. Never going to happen. What's that link?
That's to Chris Burke doing some singing and dancing with this band.
Oh, did you find it?
Corky. No, it's
Nice.
it's from a different event, but it's similar kind of stuff, except he had a top hat and cane for one sequence that he did when I was there.
Huh. Well, that explains why you said Fred Astaire style. Okay, I get it.
Extremeness at all.
Okay, I'll tell you what doesn't change Nick Fuentes' view. Tucker Carlson with his arm around Nick Fuentes, grinning for the camera, while Nick Fuentes tweets out America first, and then triumphantly goes on the air the next day to explain that he has essentially used Tucker Carlson as a vehicle for manipulating other people. Okay, that's what Nick Fuentes is saying, not me, Nick Fuentes. Okay, and Nick Fuentes, and by the way, I will again say that
She's not going to understand it, dude, because she saw a different interview than all the rest of us.
Yeah, see, what Megyn is failing to understand is that your good intentions are irrelevant. David Duke used to do the same thing. Every time he got interviewed, he claimed victory. He claimed conquered territory.
How is a media personality this fucking retarded when it comes to propaganda?
I don't think she's retarded. I think she's gullible.
And this is why I love you women. You know I do. But this is why y'all shouldn't be involved in this kind of stuff. Because Megyn is all up in her feelings. You were mean to Tucker, and Tucker's my friend, and I don't like people being mean to him.
Well, and that's the entire problem with this. The disconnect between Ben and her is he's saying, look, the optics of this are really obvious. They're this, and this. And she's like, but that's not what he meant. He doesn't feel that way. Emotionally, and you can't validate that shit the same way. It's not. Women are going to pick up on stuff differently because they're all up in their feelings, and they want to believe that there's this redemption story for a Jew-hating anti-Semite like Nick Fuentes, but that's not what is going on here. There's propaganda involved, and she is just not wanting to see it, so it doesn't exist.
Well, she's worried about changing Nick Fuentes' mind rather than changing Nick Fuentes' impact. If you're her and you actually believe that Nick Fuentes is the most influential podcaster for young men, wouldn't it make more sense, instead of trying to point out or trying to change his mind, to point out the horrible shit that this man has said? Don't you think that it would be useful to some of the folks out there to point out that he has equated interracial couples with bestiality?
Well, and why does she think that you can change his mind?
Because she's a woman and she thinks redemption is possible for everyone. That's all.
Well,
Tucker Carlson.
I'll grant the possibility of redemption, but people have to want to change. You're not going to convince them to change.
I don't think everybody can change without some major event in their life. Not everybody is, what's his name? Hunter Avallone, who had a conversation with a lolly lover and changed his whole political view.
Yeah. I mean, that's absolutely true. But if somebody wants to change, they're putting the effort in to change. That's a much different beast than what we're looking at. You're not going to sit down with Tucker Carlson, get a couple of like mild questions, and be like, "Oh, my worldview is wrong." That's just not going to happen. It doesn't matter who he sat down with. That's not how the human mind changes. It has to be confronted with stark realities.
Can you convince anyone to change? Sure, you can. If you go into a conversation with somebody, I'm going to use myself as an example. If you come into me and you have actual proof of stuff, that I'm wrong on something, I will change my mind because I care more about being right than I care about winning. I would rather lose an argument and learn something new than be like, no, I'm right in the face of all evidence to the contrary. When you're talking about political pundits, most aren't like that. Most of them, especially online, are so ingrained in their own thinking that changing their mind is never a reality because they're not there to change their mind. They're only there to push their nonsense. And it doesn't matter what you say to them. Can you change people's mind? Yeah, you can get people to change. Is it common? I don't know. It depends on how you're talking about. But when we're talking about political rhetoric and stuff, you can only change them if they're open to being wrong. And a lot of the punditry class is not. They're just not. I mean, look at what we're watching with. I mean, Ben has refuted everything she says, and she's still like, no. Ben is trying to buffer her here, to use her language, and she is rejecting it outright. All right.
When you say to somebody in an interview, do you condemn anti-Semitism? And then the person says, sure, which is what Nick Fuentes said. He said, I'm not an anti-Semite, which is blatantly untrue.
Yeah.
A responsible journalist would then follow up, demonstrating that that is false. Tucker did not do that. He allowed him to get away with that, and then he allowed him to talk about, quote-unquote, organized Jewry, followed...
Which, by the way, this is what I don't like about them invoking Charlie Kirk, because I've seen this many times, where like, even Charlie Kirk started to question the Israeli state. There's absolutely fine questions to ask about our relationship with Israel. And Charlie being called an anti-Semite when he wasn't one is not a cover for Nick Fuentes being called an anti-Semite when he absolutely is one. This is the kind of shit that pisses me off when I see actual racist people out there going, they call everyone racist. Well, sure they do, but you actually are a fucking racist. There's this shield of they call everyone these things, so therefore anybody they say it about isn't actually that thing. No, some people are racist. Some people are anti-Semite.
They're bound to hit the target eventually.
Right?
Statistically.
But you have people out there right now, and Megyn just did it a little bit ago, right? Where she brings up Charlie Kirk in this context. Kirk and Fuentes are oceans apart when it comes to how they dealt with Jews. There is no question that Nick is a fucking anti-Semite. And for people to be like, but Charlie got called an anti-Semite. Yeah, Charlie was called a lot of things wrongfully. Nick is rightfully called an anti-Semite and a racist and a sexist because he is those things. Or at least those are his public stances. Anyway.
By Nick Fuentes being treated to a disquisition by Tucker Carlson about why Christian Zionists of all human beings on earth are the people that he hates the most.
He took that back.
You can't take that back.
You could say you changed your position, but you can't be like, I retract that, so it never happened. Fuck off.
You take that back.
He did.
How?
Because he went. He
then
spoke
he
to.
should explain why it was wrong. He should explain why Christian Zionists are actually wonderful people.
Tucker is very quick to self-flagellate, and he went on with Dave Smith the next day, the next week, whatever, Monday, Tuesday this week, and said, that was stupid. I didn't mean that. He said, I'm angry at people like Lindsey Graham. I'm angry at people like Ted Cruz because he thinks they run headfirst in these conflicts and they don't think about what's going to happen to American kids.
Hold up. If we're talking about firing inside the tent, everything Lindsey Graham, okay, and I'm not a huge Lindsey Graham fan. He votes with the President of the United States 100% of the time, and Tucker spent yesterday's show excoriating him as a psychosexual death worshiper. Does that sound like firing outside the tent? Again, these are the questions.
I'm not offended.
Again,
Megyn, you know, you should stop this interview right here and just say, Tucker can do no wrong.
Yeah, she's been doing nothing but apologizing for him and making excuses.
Yeah. So much for hey, we don't name names. We don't name names. Wasn't that how this started this segment? What you did wrong was naming names. I don't like Lindsey Graham. I think he's a fucking weirdo who wants to kill people. He really loves war. But as he's pointing out, I mean, you're upset about infighting. Lindsey Graham is a Republican senator. I guess he's an elected official, so it's okay to call him that. I guess since he's elected, you can do that. But, you know, Nick isn't elected, so he can't really point out any of the horrible shit he says or does.
Yeah, correct. See, because it's firing inside the tent. You might hit one of the circus clowns.
The questions that I'm asking here, I'm not asking you to do anything, Megyn.
No, I know.
Okay,
I know.
I'm not.
Our beef is not with each other.
I'm not, okay? When I draw a line with regard to what I believe Tucker Carlson is doing to the conservative movement and what he is fomenting, that is because that is my info, and everyone can make their own decision as to whether they think that I am right or whether I am wrong and where they choose to draw the line with regard to the conservative movement. The question for me is always whether somebody's statements are forwarding moral values that I think are worthwhile. I did not get into this business for the money or for the clicks. You didn't either.
Neither did he.
What was that?
Neither did he.
I mean, he may not have. That's fine. I certainly did not. I'm only going to speak for myself. And what that means for me is that if I see somebody breach basic moral values by having on a Nazi, and in my own view, you can take your own view, in my own view, gloss the Nazi, then I'm going to speak out about that, and I'm going to point out that there is a long pattern of him ideologically laundering terrible ideas over the course of the last 2 years, ranging from traveling to Russia to sniff the bread and explain why the Russian regime is actually wonderful, to saying last week that the Venezuelan regime of Nicolas Maduro is actually not that bad because they're being attacked by, in his words, globo homo.
Tucker's made.
I can't argue with any. The one thing I will say is I didn't have a problem with Tucker interviewing Putin either. And most of that conversation wasn't even an interview. He basically just let Putin talk. I do think that he did go. We've seen this even in our own audience where people come in like, Putin's the right guy. Putin's a shitbag. Make no mistake about that. He's just a shitbag. And yeah, Tucker glazed him a bit too.
I respect Mr. Putin. Please don't murder me.
Yeah, I have no real respect for that man. Remember, look, we've not been against the whole Ukrainian thing because Russia's good. It's because Zelensky's just as bad, and it's a border war that's between them and none of our fucking business. But
damn right.
Yeah, I mean, I would go even further. I've been questioning, even when Tucker was still on his show and everybody was all on the Tucker train, I was telling you guys, this dude has Marxist beliefs. So it's not shocking to me that he was glazing Maduro. That he's sticking up for Maduro, for those of you who are offended at the glazing word. Just fucking with you,
Just
Greg.
doing it on purpose now.
I am. That's who I am. I'm a giant child. No, but it's not surprising me that
I just picture like the guy from Dunkin' Donuts jerking off on donuts now. It's creeping me out.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I would put that out of my mind. I'm gonna be honest with you. No, Tucker. We saw. I mean, with Mamdani just a little bit ago. He's running cover for that guy. Why would Tucker Carlson be in any way defending Mamdani? I don't get it. I mean, maybe if you're like, hey, Mamdani's being taken out of context here, I could see it. But the guy clearly doesn't like Jews. Let's not kid ourselves about that at all.
Yeah.
And no, before anybody asks, not everybody hates Jews, but there are a lot of people who hate Jews. And when you're talking about the radical Muslim, it's not out of the realm of possibility to think that they might not like Jews. It's kind of in their charter.
The point, I'm not going to here to be Tucker's defender, but he's made the point that Maduro is culturally conservative.
Who gives a shit? The guy's a communist.
I would hug this little midget right now if I could.
I'm not here to defend Tucker, but yeah, you've been doing it the entire time. And also, Madero's got some like right wing views or whatever. Yeah, I'm with Ben on this. Look, I don't hate Ben Shapiro the way most people do. I understand the criticisms of the man, but sometimes he is spot on.
Oh yeah,
Like now.
yeah. I'm just gonna watch that moment again for my own gratification.
But he's made the point that Maduro is culturally conservative.
Who gives a shit? The guy's a communist dictator.
100%. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, he's culturally conservative, but his people are eating zoo animals. Come on. Who cares what his politics are? The guy's a psychopath.
Look, you and I have talked about the Chinese policy of getting rid of girly boys off TV and been like, that's a good thing to do. But you will not hear us be like, people just hate the commies because they're homos. No, we still hate the fucking Chinese government and they're the whole communist party over there.
Yeah, you can agree with a policy and still think the person implementing the rest of those policies is evil. Just because they do one thing right doesn't make them suddenly good guys. That is some really bizarre black and white thinking that is incredibly dangerous in politics and world affairs.
This might be enough to make me actually break out my soundboard and add it to it. Ben saying, who gives a shit was wonderful. And we're going to watch it one more time.
Hell yeah.
Homo.
Tucker's made the point, I'm not going to here to be Tucker's defender, but he's made the point that Maduro is culturally conservative.
Who gives a shit?
Yeah, I agree. That needs to be on a soundboard somewhere. You need to clip
His
of
response was yes. Anybody defending Maduro can go fuck themselves. That guy is a piece of shit.
He's a murderous psycho. Come on. He's a fucking communist dictator. I don't care that he had like Hitler liked dogs. That doesn't mean Hitler's like a redeemable person in history.
Nope.
The guy's a communist dictator. Everyone in his country is eating dog. He's shipping
Excuse Ben, not everybody's eating dog. They kind of ran out.
Yeah. They're down to like rats and bugs, dude.
He put some stank on that shit. He really did. And that was a very genuine reaction right there.
Yeah.
To the United States to kill Americans. Why do I give a shit whether he's anti-LGBTQ rights? This is the number one thing about Nicolas Maduro. You know how far down the list you have to get before you can get to anything remotely recommendable about Nicolas Maduro?
I did ask him yesterday about the criticism that he didn't give Nick Fuentes a hard time, right? He didn't bring up the stuff that we've been talking about. No, he didn't. And here's what he said. It seemed to think that we've way overstated the number of Jews killed in the Holocaust. He's ripped on poor Usha Vance in the most offensive terms, which I mean, so
I do think that maybe she watched this because notice they changed those chairs. I don't want to give us too much credit. We know Crowder watches us, but apparently Megyn is too, because she's like, oh, Frank doesn't like those chairs, and Jack agreed that they're ugly. We should get new ones. They are.
They look like somebody took like a brush and cleaned off the flying yak monster from Airbender and stitched together all the leftover fur into these chairs. Like, what the fuck is it? Did Falcor shed a lot?
Honestly, it looks like the brush after I brush Phoebe.
Yeah, I mean, it just looks like a big pile of animal fur. I don't know. I'm so distracted by the chairs. I had trouble focusing on what they were saying. I did not look at the screen because the weird ferns and those hideous chairs are so unnervingly distracting.
what do you say to those people who say, why didn't you raise any of that?
Do your own interview the way that you want to do it. You're not my editor. Buzz off. I mean, I don't know. You want to go yell at Nick Fuentes? I'll give you his cell. Call him and go sit.
You didn't send me his phone number, dude. I need his phone. Go ahead and send it to me.
Yell at him and feel virtuous or whatever. That's up to you.
I agree
He
with
did-
him.
by the
I
way,
agree. No, I agree. I agree with him. I agree with him. He did the interview that he wanted to do.
Bro. Oh.
No, I think he's got a point here because he wanted to do a softball interview, and that's what he
Yeah.
did.
What he just said, yeah, that's exactly right. And I don't think Megyn is ready for that answer because, yeah, he's spot on.
I think
He
she's
ab-
going to misunderstand his answer here.
Damn. Ben is savage, man.
He is. He's an angry little Jew.
He's right. I think he did exactly what he wanted to do.
Yeah. Like, again, this is why I don't hate Ben Shapiro, because sometimes he comes out and tells it exactly like it needs to be said, and nobody else has the balls to do it.
Dude, you're fucking with a hardcore Jewish guy who's of the never forget mentality, who also suffers from a Napoleon complex. You don't want to fuck with that. Right?
Like, that dude will eat you up.
He's Juverine. Stop it.
Juverine. Oh my God! Somebody tell Ben Shapiro to dress up like Wolverine next year and wear the yarmulke with the costume.
Oh, that would be awesome. All right, here we go.
I would
For
do
a
that.
reason.
Here's the other thing I want to say. We all have different approaches.
Oh, she didn't want to address that at all.
No. Oh no. She figured out where he was going.
All right, I'll give her a little credit for intelligence because it was smart to just move along from there, Megyn.
Yeah, that was a fucking tiger trap you're about to step into.
That was a body blow he delivered, and she was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go down."
In this industry, and there's been a lot that people in podcasting have said that I disagree with, including many of the names that we've discussed tonight.
And we disagree too. I mean, yes, of course.
But I mean, yes, rarely, but sometimes we do. But my own personal approach, generally, when it's someone who's on what I consider to be my side, the side of sanity.
And this is the entire question: is whether I consider Tucker Carlson to be on my side.
I got it. But I would just say, just for the record, my own general approach, and this is my audience here, so they know, is in general, I will take on a position and I will make clear how I feel. For example, I've been asked, and some of my audience is mad at me for this, but what do you think happened to Charlie Kirk? And I believe a man named Tyler Robinson shot and killed Charlie Kirk.
True.
I believe he was influenced by trans Tifa, radical trans activists, that he fell in with a lunatic that goes by Lance Twiggs, that guy was extremely radical, and that he and possibly a band of others convinced this guy that...
You believe the official story. That's all you have to say.
Yeah, can we point out that Lance Twiggs would make a really good porn star name for like a very specific niche micro penis gay porn?
I'm not up on my gay porn, but I'll take your word for it.
No, I just think that like there's got to be some wannabe porn star out there with a micro peen, and that is the perfect name for him.
But why it got to be gay porn? Can't there be women out there who like little dicks?
Dude, if your name is Lance Twiggs and you're not gay, everybody's going to think you're gay anyway.
Yeah, and it did turn out he's kind of gay, so I guess you're right.
How many straight dudes named Lance do you know? I know one.
I don't know anybody named Lance.
Yeah, because it's a pretty gay name. You don't hang out at bathhouses.
Okay, that's not true. I do know a guy. I don't know if he's still alive. He grew up with my dad. That's the only person I've ever met named Lance. Huh. All right.
Violence was the answer. And I believe others knew about it before Charlie was killed. That's what I believe. And until you can show me cold, hard proof that it was something other than that, that's what I'm going with. And I don't want to do or say anything that will jeopardize the FBI investigation and prosecution of that guy to make sure he spends the rest of his life either behind bars or on the wrong end of a firing squad.
Does she have a point here?
No.
I forgot. Oh, she was talking about how she does things. Okay, sorry.
But so I feel like I can make these points without attacking people who generally are on my side in fighting the deranged leftists who are killing us.
But my point is...
this is a new position for her because she attacked Trump for years. And she's attacked Alex Jones, who's also on her side against trans Tifa and the leftists. So which is it, Megyn?
I don't understand why you can't have that position and then point out when people who are, quote, on your side have a different position, and there's literally no evidence for their position.
Yeah. A disagreement is not an attack. Also, for the record.
Yeah. This is, I'm sorry. It's the team sports nonsense.
Yeah, this is identity politics, and it's
Yep.
very, very dangerous, as we've learned.
2 points. One, you have to define your side. You do. There are limits to the
All
side.
the people who don't want to kill others based on their political ideology.
That's your side, is everybody who doesn't want to kill people for their political ideology?
She's trying to be snarky there, but yeah, it's I agree with Ben. You have to define like the limitations of your side. How far in the gutter are you willing to go to have somebody support you? That is really dangerous. That is how you end up with radicals in your group, and they tend to take over.
Yeah, this is what I tell you guys all the time. I'm not on anyone's side. I'm on my side. I don't agree with anybody 100%. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I disagree with people on that's meaningless to me, so I don't bring it up. But if somebody says something really stupid and I disagree with it, I'm going to tell you that's really stupid and you should feel bad for thinking it. I disagree with people. I don't have a lot of conversations in DMs, but there are several people who will hit me up and be like, "Can you believe this?" And I'm like, "Well, that's not actually what happened." And I'm not attacking them. I'm challenging them on what they've heard and showing them the reality of it. Because I want the people in my orbit to be intelligent and not fall for stupid shit.
Yeah, and we've all fallen for stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everybody has. It's just human nature. But the important thing is to have somebody there that will say, "I think you got this wrong. Here's what really happened." Because that's how we grow and learn as people.
The fact we're even talking about sides is sad. Well,
yeah.
I don't necessarily think that. I do believe you can have honest disagreement. The problem is that we're not having honest disagreement. So the sides aren't based on reality. If you and I both look at the same facts and, well, you know what, here, let's give the audience an example. I don't think vigilantism is always wrong. At least last time we discussed it, you were like, "Nah, bro, that's a bad idea."
It's a bad idea because it doesn't end well. But yeah, I mean, there is a time and a place for that sort of thing in like a police state. But yeah, I mean, I just think that, in accordance with YouTube's terms of service, it's a terrible plan. But yeah,
the discussion we were having though at that time, we both agreed on all the facts involved.
Yeah, we just had we were coming at it from different angles, and that's fine. We share each other's perspectives, and once we see the other person's positions, maybe we change, maybe we don't. But we still have that discussion, and we didn't walk away hating each other. So
each of us had a side, and there's nothing wrong with having sides. But if I was like, if we had that discussion and I was like, "No, vigilantism never goes wrong," you would rightfully be like, "You're retarded."
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing I think that Megyn's missing, is that this team sports thing is really dangerous, because you have to have that nuance of it's okay to disagree with somebody and vocalize it. Otherwise, you end up getting bullied by every fucking lunatic person that's willing to go to an extreme. You're going to be cowed into submission every time and running interference for them. Look at Candace Owens. That bitch went completely batshit insane, and Ben was right to fire her.
And I want to just adjust what you said there, or my opinion of what you said there just a little bit. Because it's not just that it's okay to have different opinions. It's also necessary, or should be at least on your mind, that when somebody is wrong, that it's okay to be like, "You're wrong."
Oh, absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
Tucker was wrong here for what he did with that Fuentes interview.
Yeah, and people have to be willing to admit that Tucker's not infallible. He makes mistakes, and lately he's made quite a few of them.
I mean, we see the same thing with Trump. I mean, there are Trump support. I saw one tweet. I brought it up at the time where this lady says, I will support whatever Trump does. No, that is the wrong mentality to have. And I've argued with Trump supporters. Like, go back during the election before the primary's over, and they were acting like the left. You're either with us or you're the devil. And that is a bad way to be, because Trump is not infallible. Trump has done things that are wrong. Trump has done things I disagree with. The way that they're handling the tariff situation is probably going to end with the court going, no, you can't do that, because of the way the fucking law is written.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I don't support tariffs. It just means Trump fucked that one up.
Yeah. It's normal to disagree with somebody on something. It's a little weird to have this kind of cult of personality and it deifies somebody to where they're infallible. That's not okay.
Yeah. And that is the problem with sides, is when it is blind following. Anyway.
I would agree with that, except for the fact that, as you showed, Nick Fuentes wants to kill others based on their political
He's not
ideology.
on my side. He's not with me.
My point is that Tucker treated him as though he was on his side.
And I see it differently. I think he
I
did
know.
it.
Okay, if Tucker didn't see him on his side, what was the bumpering for? What was the bumpering for?
Stop noticing things.
I know you do.
Exploratory interview where there was a possible attempt to put a bumper up on this
I think that we don't have to go over ground that we've already covered. We can agree to disagree on that, and everyone can make up their own mind after going and watching the interview yourself.
Why don't we do the Larry David? I disagree to disagree.
All right, that's enough of that. You said you had some stuff you wanted to cover.
Just one piece here.
Okay.
It's a little article. Did you want to go over that now, or you got more?
Yeah, because
horror
this
show?
is going to be the end of it. Will you talk to the audience for just a minute, though?
Sure. What's up, audience? Lance Hendrickson. I love Lance Hendrickson. Great actor. When I've never seen anyone go and summon wrinkles like that man could. If you don't believe me, watch Millennium or Pumpkinhead. That man is just a wrinkle monster. It's like a transformation. Like some guys turn into werewolves. He could turn into a giant wrinkle man. It's really weird. Played Bishop in Aliens. Yeah, Bishop. Man, I love that movie, Aliens. Game over, man. Game over. It had the Bill Paxton Collective in it. Charles Bronson is never wrong. Maybe. I don't know. He's also very dead. Tucker makes mistakes. One Piece is your treasure. I don't know what that means. Yeah, is that the TV show with that guy that stretches his arms? Because I don't fucking know that. I think she was always batshit insane. That's why she wore the mask. I mean, that's possible. Yeah, so it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. I was working on videos. I was hanging out with Frosted earlier. Go check out The Corner. It's an anime, isn't it? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what the reference is there. If it's an anime thing, I missed the anime revolution by about 10 years. So that's a little jab at Monk. Also, Megatron is fun. Yeah, Megatron had to pee or play with his cat. He probably looked at that picture too many times, wanted to go play with the cat's belly. My granddaughter used to talk about One Piece. Oh my God. Yeah. One of my friends has great grandkids now. And I was like, man, you guys reproduce young in your family.
Put your claws away. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that.
I knew it. You're playing with the cat. You went to play with the cat.
She's so sweet and fluffy. Hello, baby. All right.
I told you. He was looking at that picture. Was like, I'll be right back. Go pet the cat.
Can you hear her purring? I put you up to the microphone.
Real distant.
That's my baby. All right. Where's the article?
I have it here. I'm just gonna read it to you.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Because your eyes suck.
That makes it easier for me to pet Phoebe too.
Yeah, that's true.
Hi, baby.
So I'm not gonna tell you the title because that's how I heard it. But buckle in, buddy. I got a little treat for you here. America has always been this monstrous, uncaring, selfish thing. However,
What?
it found a pretty dress and put on some makeup and presented itself to the world as this heroic, morally superior utopia. As a black man living in it, I can always see the ugly truth through the cracks. However, as I grew up, I'd be lying if I said I felt no hope for the future. I just knew things would progressively get better. I was so wrong.
She's not by the mic right now, by the way.
Oh, are you purring? Oh.
That's her. She's in my lap, though. She's just really, really happy right now.
Aw.
And I think it's a perfect soundtrack for this conversation, this article.
Yeah. Hold on, I gotta archive this real quick. It's I'm not a member, so let me switch browsers.
I was going to ask if this was from the root because it was starting to sound like it.
All right, this is gonna take a second. Sorry, guys.
Me too. I'm petting my cat, and I should be paying more attention to the stream. I apologize, guys. She's so sweet, though. She keeps nudging her head down into the crook of my arm here, trying to get even more pets. Hi, boo boo.
Yeah, my cat thinks I talk to myself or I'm talking to her, and she'll come over and start chewing on my headphone cord to get my attention.
Oh, yeah.
It drives me up the wall a little bit.
Hi, baby. Yes. I don't know why she's spoiled.
It's a mystery for the ages.
It's for the kitty. You're forgiven. I appreciate it. She's so sweet. Except for when she's not.
Well,
except for when she's not.
Which is random because it's a cat.
Because it's a cat.
Cats are basically women. It's the most codependent, abusive relationship is a man and his cat.
Yep.
Kind of
So
prepares you for marriage.
Our article here is telling us that America is a horrible place that dresses up like it's nice.
Yeah, and you're tricked into thinking that it's going to get better. But this is going to take a left turn that I don't think you're going to see coming. But it is weirdly kind of related to what Megyn and Ben were talking about there. And if this fucking thing would ever load, it doesn't take this long to archive anything any other time. Just when I'm trying to do something. Fuck you, archive. Why do you hate me?
Oh, you're not asking me how old I am. Okay. Somebody in chat was they're asking someone else how old they are.
Oh.
You mean it shits you up the wall? No, because I'm not. Why is that a saying for you Australians, shitting up the wall? What do you guys get onto down there?
Well, they're upside down. So sometimes when they're climbing up to their furniture on the floor, maybe you didn't make it to the bathroom in time climbing down.
Oh, and so they poop up the wall. Gotcha.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Sorry. Sorry about that distraction. I was wrong. I just knew things would progressively get better. I was so wrong. Whenever I bring up the state of America to black friends and family, they usually retort by saying, it's always been bad. I'm with you, but I also think we would be lying a little if we didn't admit that things are going backward. In a twisted way, there's some comfort in remembering America has always been horrible to us. Yes, in 10 years, we're going to reintroduce slavery, apparently. Unfortunately, there are levels to that hate. I wasn't around during slavery. I didn't experience the fights for progress during Reconstruction. I didn't suffer through 100 years of Jim Crow or march for the civil rights movement.
Then what are you bitching about?
Oh, this is just a random statement. It's got nothing to do with where we're going here. Look at what they're doing to the Voting Rights Act. Certain people have hated civil rights since the movement began. They must be really old. And get this, those people are in power today. Dun, dun, dun. Many of them were adults when Jim Crow was still a thing. How old are these people? Are we electing vampires? Like Nancy Pelosi, I could understand. Sometimes for younger people, it is hard to comprehend how someone was born into and raised in a world that was so different. It's hard to appreciate how that hate is passed down to their children.
No, it's not. It's not hard to understand that. The problem is when the children still act like the world is still the way it was when the people who went through that went through it. Look, say what you want about America, but if you're living in America right now, you are living in the best place in the best time in history so far. Period. End of story.
Yeah, especially if you're a minority. You don't have to like that, but that's the truth. Do you know that feeling of a stranger looking at you as if you are trash?
Yes.
It sounds like an interpretation, like an impression more than an actual fact. I mean, yeah, I think everybody of every race can experience that. I've been facing a bit more of that, blah. I've been feeling that a bit more lately. It could be the new normal.
That's what you're feeling and you're interpreting. How many times have we seen those videos of women at the gym? Like, can you believe they keep looking at me? And it's just some dude who's randomly looking around.
Yeah. That's how I interpreted this too. Like you're on the subway and in like New York City, and of course somebody's keeping an eye on everyone around them, and you're like, he's staring at me. Oh, he's so evil.
This is main character syndrome. Go ahead.
Oh, it gets worse. White supremacy is cool again. There's no reason to hide. However, this new animosity in America's monstrous past can be summed up with two haunting, excuse the pun, words. Charlie Kirk.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I didn't see it coming either. I was like, okay, this feels like a Root article. Where are you going with this? But no, it got crazy. Charlie Kirk is probably best described as a sexist, racist, and homophobic master debater.
What?
Yeah. No citations. Just a statement. He was unfortunately murdered during one of his public events. Many people refused to mourn him, and despite being clear they didn't support the violent act, they were fired.
Who?
Nobody. Most of the people that were fired for anything with Charlie Kirk were the ones celebrating it.
Yeah.
That one lady that got fired for reporting somebody who was celebrating it.
Yeah, the nonsense about they weren't in favor of it. I need to know which of those people it is because I didn't see any of those folks get fired.
I didn't either. Others mourn him to an unnecessary level. For many, he has become a martyr. Well, don't murder people, then, dumbass.
I will give him a little bit of credit on that thing because I do think that there are some people who have embraced Charlie with almost a religious fervor.
Yeah. Well,
they
tend to be very religious people that do that.
Phoebe is now up staring at the screen, watching the chat. Guys, chat. Put something into chat. She likes watching the thing scroll by.
Little kitty faces. I spoke to a white associate about Kirk's death. Oh, I bet they love this conversation. She had a lot of...
Why it got to be a white associate?
Well, I mean, you got to get the cracker perspective, I suppose. I used an A there, not a hard R. She had a lot of feelings she wanted to get out and asked me to write them for her. You can read her thoughts here, and there's a link. In short...
Wait. Read that sentence again.
She had a lot of feelings she wanted to get out and asked me to write them for her.
Okay, so he links to something he made up pretending somebody else said it. Gotcha. Go ahead.
Yeah, the article is a white woman confesses her thoughts to a black man.
Yeah.
In short, she was starting to see some of the problems in the world. It's easy and important to question why it was Charlie Kirk's death that suddenly sparked her curiosity, but genuine curiosity is a first step. Here's some Kool-Aid. After reading some of the comments, she felt a little discouraged, but continued to ask questions and dig. That is, until her boyfriend saw her messages and forbade her from talking to me. Honey, why are you talking to this crazy man? Don't do that anymore.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say this woman doesn't exist.
Oh, 90% chance that's accurate. He didn't want her discussing or thinking about things like racism. I knew from her previous messages that she was extremely sensitive about Kirk's death. He was angry. Oh, an angry white man. I hope my associate is still thinking and growing, even if her boyfriend wants to keep her ignorant.
This is a Medium article, isn't it?
How would you possibly know such a thing?
Because it's so retarded, I'm starting to zone out.
Oh, well, buckle in. The good part's coming up. You got to focus, buddy. Charlie Kirk died on September 10th. Within a few days, his face was plastered on a sign just outside my neighborhood. As of October 23rd, it still grins down at me. I'm half convinced it'll watch me forever. Unless I leave the country, there's no escaping that gaze. Yesterday, I went on a walk with a friend about 30 minutes from where I live. It was a nice park, but I noticed we were the only black people. You always notice things like this. You must. Neither of us needed to say a word. It wasn't an uncommon occurrence, but a mental note was made. The park is relatively simple. There's a track that circles a playground and a small wooden stage. To the side, there's a baseball field that was full of kids playing kickball. I was just getting a nice dose of soothing nostalgia when an older woman approached us with a folding chair in her hand. I've watched enough horror movies and lived enough life to know the difference between a genuine older white lady grin and something more sinister. It's in the eyes.
What? You notice something sinister about a lady walking at you with a chair smiling.
Yeah, an older white lady grin. It's about the grin.
What'd you think she was gonna do to you, homie?
Well, the intention is in her eyes. You could see their dark.
I get that, but what was the intention she had?
Oh, evil, monkey, pure evil.
All right.
Combine this with a grin that was just a bit too wide, and I knew whatever she was bringing my way would be no good. I hate to bother you.
Time out. 1 second. Guys, chat a little bit more. Phoebe's getting, you guys aren't chatting enough. She's smacking the screen trying to make the chat roll. Go ahead. I'm sorry, bud.
I hate to bother you, she began. And yet, ... I would like to extend an invitation to you both. We're having a vigil for Charlie Kirk. We're going to be at the stage at 7. I started to outright turn her down.
I don't believe your story, because if she was just coming to ask you to come to the thing, why would she carry her chair with her?
Well, she's got to reserve her spot. It's like a parade. I started to outright turn her down in the kindest way possible. Oh, we were just leaving, or some other lie to get me out of there as soon as possible. My friend responded first. Thank you. We'll check it out. So clearly, my friend never watched horror movies, or she was just giving a polite lie. Like, yeah, we'll check it out. Thanks. Yeah, we're not going to that.
I've done that before when people have approached me. Hey, I'll check it out.
Yeah, I'll look into that. Thank you. Fuck off. Leave me alone.
You don't have to be mean or anything. You don't have to go, fuck you. I don't like God. Die. She's like, yeah, we'll check it out. And you don't mean it at all.
All right. So you remember how I said it took a sharp left turn?
Yeah.
Well, it's about to take another sharp turn. So clearly my friend never watched horror movies. So you know what that means, right? You know they want to hang us, I warned. They're going to call us to the stage and make a sacrifice. She laughed it off, stating that she was just curious. She even waved off my attempt to remind her of what killed the cat.
Curiosity. I see what he did. No, you can't go over there. That's where the candle wax is. No, Mike.
Honestly, I can't think of any good reason why a white lady who lived during Jim Crow would invite two black strangers to a vigil for a known racist. Yeah, you could possibly be wrong. The best case scenario is a misguided attempt to prove to some higher power that she isn't racist. Even if that was the case, I don't want to give her that peace of mind. Not delusional at all. I'm sorry, but if we're still having vigils for a racist over a month after his death, you probably have some racist tendencies. There are too many people dying out here to be still be obsessed with a racist. As the sun set and the number of white faces multiplied, I wouldn't describe what I felt as fear, but an alertness. I was struck by how many kids joined the vigil. Many of them the same happy faces from the kickball game. It's always disheartening to see hate passed down from one generation to another. As
You were
people made
wait. He was just saying how normal that is a little while ago when it was because of racism.
Yeah, but he always hates to see it.
Okay.
As people made their way onto the stage with candles in hand, my friend and I finally stopped walking the track and stood toward the back, near the cars, just so they can escape. Ready yet? I asked my friend, slowly creeping backward toward the parking lot. She shrugged. I was hoping to see if they wore their Klan hoods in public. They didn't. They were normal people. They looked like the kids I teach every day. Their parents wore affectionate grins. Still, I know when I'm in the den of the enemy, and Charlie Kirk's face had multiplied across the park. I was just about to tell my friend I was leaving when the lady who invited us pointed us out. I found myself annoyed at my friend, despite her being the one who wanted to stay. I knew I would have to fight off the crowd so she could escape. And they say chivalry is dead. I'm so glad you came, the woman called. Do you want to come up? We were just leaving. I was sure to beat my friend to the punch this time. Thank you so much for inviting us. I grabbed my friend and we started walking away without a response. I was ready to die for a lot of causes, but I refused to be a sacrifice for a Charlie Kirk cult. God, that'd be the most milquetoast cult in history. I was certain they would be chasing us if I looked back, but the lady's voice called behind me. He has to go home early. He's a teacher. She even named my school. But I was in my car before I let myself think about anything else. I bet he was sweating really bad if this actually happened. I said my goodbyes to my friend through my window. You're on your own, bitch! I was on my way home before I even allowed myself to wonder how the lady knew where I worked. I didn't even tell her I was a teacher. It dawned on me that I must have been set up in some way. Perhaps my friend was in on it. Maybe Charlie Kirk's spirit grants them some racist second sight. Heck, I don't know. The Supreme Court could have given racists unlimited power. Although it took longer than I wanted, I realized I was wearing my school's t-shirt. I laughed at the stupidity of the entire thing, but as I passed Kirk's face to get home, I felt myself once again frustrated. With anything else, people have paid attention, the attention span of a fish. People are dying every day, and yet, ... There's truly something so messed up about mourning Charlie Kirk for so long.
Yeah, this is why I don't cover Medium anymore, because that's a Poe.
I hope to God it's a Poe.
It's a
If it's
Poe.
not, it's fucking retarded.
Yeah, that's a yeah. We've seen enough people who have similar sentiments, but you got to know when to pull it back a little bit. Because
Nope,
even
go full retard.
I realized I was wearing my school's shirt. Unless it says I'm a proud employee, that could have been your kids went there. She said, he's a teacher at this place. That's why he's got to go home. Yeah, it's the little thing. Yes, that's what's a Poe? It's somebody who presents themselves as the real thing, but they're really just fucking with you. Black Romeo says that was fanfic. Yeah. The reality of it, though, is there's a lot of people who think, like, not to that extreme. Just dial it back a little bit and you would have had me. Just a little bit. But there are a lot of people who have that same thing. I mean, I still see people all the time with Charlie Kirk was so racist. Look what he did. How could anybody celebrate this man? And they can't point to anything he actually said or did. And it's the same people that love George Floyd and don't know anything about him other than he died. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's not like George Floyd had a big, long history of public statements. He had a big, long criminal history.
That's why they loved him.
But they'll treat him like he was a fucking messiah, and Charlie Kirk like, no, he was evil, man, because he said things I didn't like.
Well, what could be more evil than saying things I don't like?
Yeah. Poe is something super close to real, but still absurd. Yeah, and Titiana is the greatest Poe I've seen online. He actually gets so many people.
Yeah.
This one could have got me. This one could have. He needed to just dial it back a tad.
I tried.
Yeah, it's why I don't read Medium, because so many of their articles are just so over the top. It might as well be the Onion. Well, the Onion's not funny. It might as well be the Babylon Bee at this point. I have a Phoebe hair in my eye. I'm sorry, guys. Oh.
I thought it was fun either way, so I wanted.
Oh,
to
it is
share.
fun. Yeah. Oh God, she's shedding really bad right now. As the weather's changing, her winter coat is growing in, and her summer coat is shedding off.
Oh yeah.
Do y'all see the floof on that thing? You know how much hair comes off that cat?
It's like a whole other cat spawns when you brush her, I bet.
I'm so sorry. There we go. I think I got it. I do think, I stopped you at that point, but I do think some people have taken the Charlie Kirk thing a little too far, almost to the George Floyd levels. I mean, they basically made him a saint.
Yeah, well, again, I maintain a lot of those people are the hyper religious that look for saints and martyrs. And, that is a problem.
I don't know if it's that or if it's you might be right, but I saw this like when my brother died. People I knew my brother hated. That suddenly they were his best friend ever, because it was a tragedy that happened. He was still in school, kills himself at 17. And so they were actually like getting clout off my dead brother.
That's
I'm like, my brother hated you. We actually kicked people out of his funeral.
Wow.
Because people showed up who were like, oh my God. And let's just say there was some reasons to kick them out. I think when important events, look at when Diana died. People who never talked about Diana ever were like, oh my God, she was like the people's princess. You ain't know that bitch. You ain't know nothing about her, but your whole world became Diana at that moment. I think that some humans have this weird need to be associated with things that they're not, because it's a big public spectacle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think you're right that maybe some of them are religious, and I think some of them are just people, social ghouls. Yeah, exactly. I think that some people are just like that, and it's weird. It's very weird.
Well, I agree completely. I think that people want to find saints and demons everywhere they go. There are just some people that are wired that way. Like, you are either completely evil or completely angelic, and that's a real dangerous mentality. You're not going to get anywhere that way.
I get people not like it. Like we talked mad shit about Charlie when he was alive. We haven't
Yeah,
done it
but
since he
it's not
died
like
because
Hmm?
we haven't done it since he died because, well, he's not saying stupid shit right now for me to point to.
Yeah,
I'd be like,
I didn't hate the man. I just
no.
disagreed with him on a lot of things.
I
And I
tend
thought
to,
he had a big head.
yeah, I tend to talk about people who are active right now. It's not even a thing of respect in my case with Charlie. Um, I've pointed out where people have been wrong about the criticisms of him, but I've done that for Bernie Sanders, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, well, that's just being a reasonable person. Is if somebody's being criticized, like I don't think that Charlie Kirk was homophobic or racist or sexist or pro-Zionist. I think those are stupid things to say because they're provably false.
Well,
So,
I do want to correct you on that just a little bit because this is something people don't like to acknowledge. I think he was pro-Zionist in that I believe, if I remember correctly, he believed in a two-state solution. And you cannot believe in a two-state solution without being a Zionist.
that's probably fair. I just never saw anything like that from him. So I'm sure that content's out there. It just isn't stuff I saw. I didn't watch him on a regular basis. He would just show up in my feed a lot. And he said a lot of things I would agree with, but he said a lot of things I don't agree with. But
yeah,
we're also very different people. So,
and I don't have a problem with people who used to criticize him and out of respect they're not doing it, but that's not why we don't do it. He's just not in saying anything stupid to talk about right now.
he lost a lot of weight, so his head got normal sized.
The deification of it, I mean, damn.
Yeah. But I feel bad for his wife.
Rodline says Candace cough. Candace has gone a completely different way, though. I mean, she is full on conspiracy. The Jews and Turning Point USA got together to off Charlie because he was going to come out against the Jews.
I think Candace may have been in love with Charlie.
I think Candace is in love with anybody who can get her some clout.
Like I said.
And Candace and Charlie hadn't spoke for like 6 months or 8 months before his death, but she's like, we were like brother and sister. No. I think Candace, I'm very curious about her upbringing because she comes off almost like an only child, desperately needed of attention at all times. Look, guys,
Yeah.
I'm not one to throw stones about needing attention, but there's good ways to go about getting attention, and then there's the Candace way about getting attention. What do you think? Only child or youngest child?
Well, I mean, I don't know. Maybe she's now the only child because she killed her older siblings.
Yeah, we're not saying she did. We're just asking the question.
Yeah, I mean, it might have been in utero. I don't know.
A bat colony produces less bat shit than Candace. You're not wrong about that. Tim says youngest. I could see youngest too. I could. There are slight differences between youngest and only child, though. Yeah, I don't know. I can. If she's a middle child, she's the bad apple of middle children.
She
Candace
was probably the favorite either way.
Candace deliberately said that because conspiracies were proven true. She's fully believing every conspiracy that she hears. She genuinely said she would believe every single one. I don't doubt that it would make sense, but this is guys. Just because a conspiracy is proven true doesn't mean all conspiracies are true.
Wait, you mean the moon landing was real?
Yeah, it was.
What? That's crazy. Mind-blowing.
Excuse me. I'm a youngest child. Do not insult us by comparing us to Candace. I wonder, does Candace have a wiki?
Probably.
Candace Owens. Does it tell us if she has? Oh, yes, she does. Like the middle child of two retards. Where's the personal life part of it? Oh, God, she's got a longer Wikipedia page than she deserves. Holy shit. Bro, I've read Wikipedia entries about wars that are shorter than this.
Do you think she wrote it?
Fuck, man. Let's see. That's her marriage. What about Owens Gate? No. What about her growing up? It doesn't say. Interesting. Her personal life only mentions her husband and her kid. All right, whatever. I'm still saying youngest. I think I'm sold on youngest. And I'm just going to be honest. It's only because somebody got offended at the notion of it being honest, and I'm a child. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap up here. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us. Thank you for the donations. You guys are so very kind to us. I don't know if I'll be doing a game stream today. I did one last night. It was just kind of a one-off where I was playing a challenge mode in Planet Coaster 2. I didn't do the career mode. Next time I play, that's what I plan to play. So I'm just not sure it'll be tomorrow because I'm already in pain and I'm going out this morning. We'll see what happens. Jack, anything on the show?
I got nothing done, so not today. Just go subscribe to my channels. The links are in the description. As always, thank you guys so much for the tips, the very generous ones. And you guys are awesome. Appreciate all you do for us. And thanks for coming out and watching the show.
Indeed, indeed. I'll listen from the beginning when I go to work. Enjoy it, Blue Eye. Hope you like what we has to say. Her husband is best friends with Andrew Tate. Yeah. She's told her story about that so many times, and I'm still gonna say I think she got tated, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. I don't have any proof of it. I'm just asking the questions. Did Candace take it in the butt from Andrew Tate, and that's why she was so nice to him in the interview?
Do you think that Andrew Tate has something in his spooge that makes chicks go completely insane?
I think it's his cologne.
Oh, well, he is European right now, so.
Yeah, so I mean, he is European anyway, so let's be honest. He doesn't bathe all that much, so he's got nasty stank, and he puts like some kind of like Calvin Klein obsession on way too thick.
Yeah, whatever's in the discount outlet store that you can take a bath in.
Yeah, so he smells like sadness and musk, and women like that.
Gross.
Jack, a pleasure as always.
Always glad to be here.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. We love you. We'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye now.
Bye, everybody.
It's not dead air. I was yawning, and if you turn up your audio, you'd have heard it. I'm just saying. Oh, song time. Fuck, I'm drawing a blank.
I feel pretty. Oh, so pretty.
I was just gonna sing Marvel Comic Group because that's what it says under my Spider-Man poster on the wall.
I was going with the cat picture. There's a pretty kitty on the screen. And
Since you're saying I ain't got to now.
Oh yeah.
Bye guys.